Greetings, Commanders! Welcome to Kerrash Landing, the Elite Dangerous community stream, and tonight we're starting a minute early. Yes, I'm actually on time and getting everything sorted. Plenty of things to cover tonight, but we will get to that shortly. I'd like to say hello to all the regulars in the chat I can see there. Fiery Toad, Mad Dog, Mrs. K is sat to my side, and you're now getting an echo on there. Yes, we've been chatting away with everyone in there. Game of the Inn, Saturnine, XLG, so many familiar names. Oh, it's just too many to read out. And some nice new names as well. Nice to see some new names in there. So hello to everyone in the chat tonight. Yes, we will be going over the newsletter very shortly. Newsletter 114 is out. And I know a few of you haven't got it yet. So I think first thing we will do is paste the link up in case you haven't got it. Let's just make sure everyone has got it to read along. There's the newsletter for tonight. Squee, Commander Moonprayer. Nice to see you there. Yeah, so tonight, hopefully, I'm going to get involved with there's a couple of community goals in LHS 3447 at the moment. I'm sure everyone's heard about. One of them is to help build a station. There's another one to protect the traders by handing in bounties. So I shall be... I have only just accepted it a few minutes ago. I have had no chance to play at all this week. So yeah, it's going to be fresh. So I'll be looking for bounty vouchers. So any tips on the best places nearby to get bounties are welcome in the chat if anyone does have anyone, because I haven't had a chance to get involved. But I will be flying out some zones tonight. Probably a nearby federal system with some resource extraction site, something like that. I think would probably be the best place for some bounties on there. PvP action gaming with Ian once on there. Not in a brand new Fer de Lance that I've only just bought and only just kitted out. Maybe if I go back to my Vulture, I'm a little bit more familiar with that one. But I'm not getting into a PvP ship in a ship that I haven't actually tried flying yet. I've literally bought this thing tonight. Not really flown it in a Fer de Lance very much at all, actually. It's a lovely ship. It's an awesome ship. But yeah, I will be... That's funny, I should have the gold one, shouldn't I? Yeah, I only have the black paint job. I will check that later on. Maybe there's an issue. But yes, I will gladly do some PvP when I'm familiar with the ship that I'm flying. Did it Shanray? Yes, the CG does state, the community goal does say protect traders in LHS 3447, which I am in. This is the system I've accepted it in. But given that the station is quite a distance away from the actual main star, there's not a lot of ships spawning around in Super Cruise, so I'm thinking maybe heading to a nearby system, which I will go to shortly. I know Insignificant. I know that's what a Fer de Lance, Fer de Lasers. I know exactly what that's for. It's for PvP, but I'm not familiar with flying it yet. I don't fancy risking, 4 or 5 million credits each time I cock up in a PvP battle I haven't practiced with yet. So I will play around a little bit more. I've been doing a lot of CQC recently as well. Can't see exactly why or how, but I have been doing a lot of CQC. And I really just enjoy that, so it'd be nice to... Oh, I don't want refinery, I want extraction tonight. This is an extraction system. See, there should be some refineries around, some resource sites around here somewhere. I'll tell you what we'll do then. We'll jump to Ervate and back, go to the main star of LHS 3447 and try it out. Am I a little bit quiet tonight, Armside Noodles? Let's adjust this for you. I've switched over to a second microphone output, and I was trying to get rid of, not to Mrs. Kate, yes, she's sat next to me. So I was adjusting the microphone. I think I was getting a lot of noise in the background. It was annoying me. I was trying to neutralize some of the noise that I was noticing back on the videos. It's like Game of the Inn, you still suck at PvP in the main game, not too bad at CQC. Yeah, the reason why I don't tend to PvP in the main game is I don't want to ruin anyone else's game. I know there's a lot of people out there that want to PvP, but it's like I don't want to just chase people down and like, oh, he's got a bounty on his head. It may be someone who's unfortunately had a bit of a collision in a docking accident and hasn't cleared their bounty yet, and they're just going around willy-nilly and don't notice they've got 400 credits on their head. I would feel like a right jerk if I was to interdict them just to get that 400 credits. That would feel really bad. So yeah, That's why I prefer the CQC. I mean, it's all consensual. Everyone's there for PvP in Arena or CQC, whichever mode, and it's just there's no loss. There's no no one's day is ruined by a little bit of PvP in CQC. So what's that, Sharon? You finally made it back for your elongated cruise. So you went some 215 light years. Congrats. That's crazy. And what's that? Oh, look at this. Look at this now. What? Shanray is triple elite. I feel inadequate now. Wow, Jow. Congratulations, Commander. That's awesome. Nice trip there. It was a complete trip around the galaxy. It must have been. Gee whiz, 215 light years. I will get back to exploring very soon. Like I said, I've had a really busy couple of weeks, which is why I've not had a chance to arrange anything like I would normally do for tonight's show. But I want to get some combat. I'm pretty close on my combat rank, so I want to get that there, and then I should be looking at exploring again, going back into the back. Sly Raccoon, you're going to be circling the galaxy. Oh, here we go, we've got someone. Yes! Interdiction time, right, I need to, yes. See a brand new loadout, I'm not even sure what fire groups I've got on there. Let's chase this sucker down. Mrs. Kate, yes, she is coughing in the background. I think we've all had it a little bit. The little one's suffering at the moment, bless him. It's, Aldous has had a day off school, and we've all been feeling a little bit grotty, so yes. Hugs to Mrs. K. No, she wasn't making a statement. It's like, no, Mr. K, don't say that. No, you're gonna beat me up now. Mascot, yes, I am a chatterbox, absolutely. I get very, very, see my wife's laughing at you now. Oh, Toad, the 4.57 megameters. Damn it. Wow, Joe. Yay! Interdiction. Get that right on the money. There we go. I haven't done this in a while either. God, see, I've just been playing peaceful things, trading and helping in community goals, things like that. I've not really done any significant combat in game for a long time. Interdiction's definitely got a little bit more tricky. Lock on, come on. Gotcha, gotcha. What's that? Good evening, Snalls. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Let's see if you've got any additional bounties. Oh, come on. Pew pew, finally, pew pew. So I've not put any chaff launchers on this build. I was wondering whether or not to do a pure hull tanking sort of thing. I know a lot of people are saying that's really popular at the moment, particularly like the Federal assault ship. But I don't know, I'm still trying to decide whether I like this particular build or not. Because I literally grabbed the feared lasers this afternoon and thought I'd give it a try. Pew! Pew! Oh, yes, I do like the four burst lasers. They do the trick. And I've got the plasma accelerator as well, which I'm tempted to give a try. Shall I try it? Shall I try it? No, close, close. Should I just stick to the burst lasers? See, the burst lasers are so powerful anyway against a little ship like a Viper. Boom! So we have some bounties to hand in now. Am I still quiet, Noodles? Mrs. Noodles, Mrs. Noodles? Let's have a quick check. Let's try and turn that up a little bit. Like I said, I have been playing around with the volume adjustment. I was really conscious of some noise in the background last week, and I wanted to try and neutralise some of that because I was really annoying static buzz in the background. I was trying to get rid of it, but never mind. So let's go ahead and park it for a second. Tell you what we do. We'll go into Super Cruise. Hopefully some more bad guys will show up. I can hand in some bounty vouchers. got some community vouchers now. I can at least get into the top 99% of the of the community goal tonight. That's the main goal. We've got 5 days to continue with the community goal anyway, and I really want to work on my combat rank at the same time, so it's perfect. It's perfect. On the subject of community goals and all, we best get on to the newsletter because there's lots of little bits and pieces tonight. But again, the best information about the newsletter tonight is right at the top of the... They're doing this every week just recently. All of the best bits are right at the start of the newsletter. I shall have to have words. But here we go. Newsletter 114. It's just out today. Let's go straight down. And again, as I was just saying, bookmarks! And this is something that a lot of people have been asking for a long, long time in the Galaxy map, is the idea of bookmarks. So this is a sneaky peek at the interface we're going to be getting in 2.1. I like this here, like found an odd object, which is quite nice. You can put your own custom little markers on these things, or like suggest there. Also the fact they're saying in there you'll be able to have the ability to plot a route. So once you've put a bookmark in a system that you like, you could, or particular, you can see here there's a landing site, there's outposts, all these kind of conflict zones. If you find a conflict zone, any one of these things, you put a bookmark in it, and then you can even just click the route to button, bang, get a route to it. Fantastic. Fan-friggin-tastic. Just the little tiny things are the bits which make such a difference in the game for us, because we've been asking for this for a long, long time, and as I always say for the guys, it's like they want to put it in as well, but it is just a question of finding the time to put in these little details. But yes, excellent. So they will be making it in. I believe that's coming as part of the engineers update. Obviously, as was mentioned, Enshiv, I did see what you were saying at the top there. This is the first Kerrash Landing since the delay announcement. I don't know why that's important, because there's nothing I can say about the announcement of the delay, but we will go over it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. I don't think there's anything bad about it. It's unfortunate that there's going to be a delay, but I think that's just par for the course with games development, so we'll go over that. Oh, what's this? Oh yes, I did read that early on there. There was something mentioned in there about the delay, but we will get back to that in a second anyway. Let's see if we've got any contacts on that. So yeah, so basically, for those of you who don't know, I think most of you should know by now, there was an official announcement in the financial website. I'm not sure what it is, but FDev are basically, they're publicly traded companies, so they must put these kind of announcements out to the forget the term now, to the group stock shareholders. That's it, to the shareholders before actually making it a public thing. Basically, they've said that 2.1, they're going to push it back by about 6 weeks. Several reasons for it. One of the reasons that David listed on there was it allows them to push the profit that they've already made from 2.0 into the second half of this year. So it means that the profits for the first half of this year won't be as high as anticipated or predicted. It's actually quite a common tactic. I've been talking to a bunch of people who are actually qualified people who know finance, and they said it is actually the kind of tactical thing that a lot of businesses do anyway, because it means you don't pay the tax for it now. You can offset the tax until the future, and of course Planet Coaster is coming down the line, so it kind of makes sense for them to get Planet Coaster out of the way, get the profit in for Planet Coaster, and then they can cover the tax off in the second year. It's one of those business decisions, and it also allows the team a little bit more leeway, a little bit more scope for the team to finish off and polish things. And it was one of the things that Michael said profusely on the forums, was he wanted to allow the team to have a bit more time to just absolutely perfect some of these changes, because there are so many changes coming to 2.1. T31I also qualified finance people, yeah. Friends of mine that basically do have qualifications in finance, they understand it, because I know there was a big hoo-ha. It was like every time there's a little bit of bad news, it was like, oh, shock and horror, cats and dogs living together, it's just, everyone goes off the handle whenever there's a little thing like this. But it's like, how many games have you seen which have had delays? These things happen. 6 weeks is not a big delay in games development. It is for us, because OMG, we want 2.1, and it's awesome. It does look absolutely amazing, but it happens. These things happen. Aiden Abacus, I just saw you come in the chat. Greetings, sir. Commander Octo, greetings, Commander. And Commander Octo, if you don't know, you should follow him. Commander Octo is the commander which first discovered the barnacles. Exactly, T310. 6 weeks, nothing. 6 weeks is, you know, we've waited 20 years for Elite Dangerous. 6 weeks, meh. And Arms Like Noodles, don't care, get in bookmarks! Exactly. This is the thing. It'll be worth the wait. Yes, good things come to those who wait. Let's see if we can find someone else. We've got a strong signal source, or no, I'll go for the little one. I don't fancy a strong signal source just yet. Still getting used to the ship. What have we got? Cobra. Yes, I thought you might be. I'm wondering whether or not to drop the plasma accelerator. I like the idea of the plasma accelerator for the really big ships. If I'm, you know, fighting something big, I think for the little ships it's overkill. I don't think I really need it. Right. Fear the lasers. OMG, shields are gone. Yes, okay. I like the FDL. I really like the FDL. I could get used to this. A little bit of tweaking to the loadout, I think, and I'm going to be a happy bunny with this thing. That's insane. That is so quick. You can't be a bad guy. No, I don't think so. You above, though. I don't trust you. Little eagle. An eagle versus a fear of lasers. That's just not going to go well, is it? Yes, you're wanted. So you can get the extra bounties, might as well. I need to get to a resource zone, actually. Toad will know where there's a resource extraction site in here. I'm sure he will. Toad knows this game like the back of my hand. Huh? See, I'm not sure. Yeah, I played a little bit around with the FDL when it was first released, way back when, and I liked it. But at the time I was doing other things. I wasn't really doing much in combat. I was exploring. I was doing a bit trading, stuff like that. So I didn't really go back and play with the Third Lance after the beta that it was first announced in. And I just realised this afternoon, I thought, you know, I really need to get back and try one. So I've just bought one today, and I'm giving it a go. Let's have a look in the salvageable wreckage. It might be a trap. It's a tarp. Oh, Abacus, yes! I did see you said about recalibrating your monitor. Hopefully it's vibrant now. Full of pixels. Nulby 23, what are they going to release? You're curious now. There is so much coming into 2.1. Let's slow down a little bit. We'll go back to the newsletter. There's so many bits and pieces we've got to cover in there. So let's skim down to the Michael's dev update, and then we'll go back to the other things. Oh, there we go. So this is what I was just saying about, so the 2.1 update was initially scheduled to be around April. They hadn't actually told us April, but that's kind of where they were aiming for. Now they're going to push it back about 6 weeks. There's a lot more things going in there. Well, a lot more polish going on as well. So some of the things that are going in, which everyone is going to be really pleased with, I think, is fixes for various mission types and things like that. An important thing you should know, actually, that wasn't mentioned in the newsletter, I don't think, was the... Michael was assuring everyone that we will get more updates between now and 2.1. That 2.1 is not going to be the end game. There is actually a 2.0 X updates in between, so there's going to be some patches and some things in between to fix a few bits and pieces, because I know there are a couple of things which are still outstanding. A couple of the mission types which people have been having issues with are going to be disabled on the server side. Might have already been disabled at the server side. Frigate 8, see, I knew Toad would know that. Thank you, Toad. So there's a couple of little patches and tweaks coming in before 2.1 anyway. But 2.1 is a big update. I mean, if you didn't see the stream last week, I think we saw the first sneaky peek at one of the engineers. So basically, we're going to start seeing some faces to the characters in game. I think Michael hinted today something like 30,000 plus unique NPCs are getting added in with the engineers update. This is kind of like the tier 2 AI stuff that was hinted back near the Kickstarter, is this idea of persistent NPCs that you can build up a relationship with. So that's all coming into 2.1. That's the big headline feature, but there's so many little tweaks and things coming in. Like we were just talking about just now, is the bookmark system and stuff like that for the Galaxy map, and lots of improvements to all other systems. Snot says I look better when I switch the monitor off. Yes, that is true. That is true. So, going over the dev update from Michael on here, he was talking about some of the things I was just saying there. So the big changes which he's talking about this week in the dev update is this idea that consequences and rewards of the missions, they're going to get rebalanced and tweaked. They're going to be more obvious what the consequences of completing a mission is, which I think it's an important part of the game which is often overlooked, because people will accept missions based on the value of them. So it's like, oh, this thing's going to give me 100,000 credits. That one's going to give me 10,000 credits. It's like, no, I'm going to set the one that's 100,000 credits, but not actually looking at the influence and the consequences and the things like that. So it really doesn't translate well at the moment. It's not very obvious what your actions are going to do on the galaxy. So that's something they're really focusing on for the engineers update, as well as it's going to be much easier to see what is going to happen by you completing the mission or failing a mission. Let's see what we've got here. Toes asking, can we get a mic for Mrs. K? Mrs. K can speak, and you could probably hear her from where she is. So, but she's just too shy. She's just sat off to the side. She's just occasionally prodding me and just, coughing into the microphone.
Didn't do that then, no?
No, she didn't. She didn't prod me that time. No. Mrs. K's coughing and Mrs. Noodles has the hiccups. No.
Sorry.
She's apologising, yet she continues to cough.
Really? Thanks. Sympathy. Love you too.
I know, Richard Beck, see, I did say to Mrs. K before I started, I said, you should come on. She's like, no.
You did not ask me.
I did ask you.
You did not.
I did.
No.
I asked her.
No, you didn't.
She will deny it. Deny it.
There, I did that for Mike.
To the end of it. There you go. Hi, Mike. Take off the headset. She can pull my hair. If I misbehave, I should just pull the cord.
I could do that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what have we got here? Let's have a look at this. Federal dropship. Enshio's going to turn into an interview. The chat interviews Mrs. K stream. Good one to see. Absolutely.
More interesting than you look.
Oh well, yeah, that is true. That is true. Snow Imp! Greetings, Commander.
Hi, Anne.
Thargoids confirmed. It's time for some. Yeah. It's that time. Psycho! Greetings, Commander. I hope you had a lovely stream, sir. I hope it went well. We were just talking about the newsletter, and I've gone off because I spotted. Oh no, another strong signal source. Distress calls. See, I feel guilty when I see the distress calls because I don't have any fuel transfer controllers at the moment, and that is a terrible thing for someone who's had, an honorary fuel rat to not have a fuel transfer controller. It is a new ship build, to be fair, so I have got that in my defence. I do like the distress calls, though. If you haven't tried the distress calls, it's well worth jumping in a little ship and trying one out. Oh, let's see what we got here. I think I need to get into a combat zone to try out the plasma accelerator on bigger ships, really. Right, you. You's a naughty boy. Pew, 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 pew. Shield's gone. Yeah, I like the FDL. Pew, pew. Ship gone. Oh, I must get back into more pew pew. Gaming with Ian? No, not necessarily. Distress calls are a little bit ambiguous. It's not always refueling someone. Yes, yeah, you've had one where you have to defend someone. I had one which I didn't realise was someone under attack, and I was in my Explorer build ship. I had a fuel transfer control, and I thought, oh great, I'll do one of those. Went in my asp with no weapons, and proceeded to get blown to heck by some pirates because I just couldn't get away. I had no countermeasures at all. So, whoops. Pirate attacks, and yes, you're right. They can be pirate attacks as well. Gravespawn, greetings, Commander. Nice to see you in there. Sorry if I've missed you this week. I have just been crazy busy. I've kind of popped into the game every now and then just to check a few like Galnet news articles and things like that. I have been absolutely hammered this week with stuff to do. I've just not had a chance to move. Literally jumped into it tonight. I was planning a whole bunch of other things and I just haven't got round to doing it. I've just been so busy. I'm still considering doing the retro stream that I know a lot of people were asking about it. They were really interested in the idea of me doing a retro stream. I know way back when on my 100th episode I did some actual streaming from actual real hardware, which was pretty cool. I managed to get some of the old Spectrum and the Amiga and all those kind of things doing. There is a slight downside though. Mrs. K's Amiga.
You broke my Amiga.
I did not break it.
You
I
broke
turned it on and it didn't work.
You broke it.
I did, but she's blaming me for it. I'm just as gutted as she is. But yeah, I plugged it in, gave it a quick test, and it's just not responding. So, a dead Amiga 500. I'm gonna have an attempt to see if I can get it repaired, but yeah, I'm gutted. Alvin bobblehead, squee! Yes, I would pay good money for an Alvin bobblehead. Hashtag blame Crash. Yeah. No, Stephen Usher, it's not the PSU. I'm afraid the post screen is flashing yellow, which I believe means a CPU issue, which I'm not even sure how I'm going to deal with that at the moment, but I'm going to have a think about it. Yeah, I'm going to have a play and see if there's something I can do with it. Maybe salvage another CPU from somewhere. All a weak signal source. I'm completely missing the newsletter at the moment.
I've had my Amiga longer than I've known you.
I know, it's all my fault.
Yeah.
Reseat the chips. Yes, Stephen, that was my first thought. I'm going to give that a go. I had a look at it. It's got the original shielding is still in place on the 500. So I'm going to need to carefully remove the original shielding, and then I'm going to have a go at cleaning all the contacts and reseating the chips and things like that. So fingers crossed I can breathe some life back into it. But like I said, I've just not had a chance. I've not had a chance yet. I don't think there's any reason why anything would have broken in it. It's been, stored away since the last time we used it, and it was working fine then. So we will give it a go. See if we can get it working. But I suppose we should get back onto what we were saying about the newsletter, because I've gone off on one again. I really want to play with the Fur de Lance. It's a really nice ship, actually. It's all part of my goal, of course, to own one of every kind of ship, which is what I really want to do at the end of it. So a couple of other little bits and pieces that Michael was talking about in the dev update this week is, again, like I said here, there's 2 0x releases planned in between, so we will get those. Nice little thing as well, the cockpit will have a clock featured somewhere into it, so you don't completely lose track of time when you're out there in the black, which is quite nice. And see, Mrs. K likes that feature. That's a good feature. But of course, up until now, you could only see the universal galactic time when you're docked at a station, but now you'll be able to see it in your cockpit at any time in 2.1, which is quite nice. Quite nice to have those little features. Again, all these little incremental things that just continue to make the game better and better. And it just proves that the guys, they are listening to us. They do want to put these features in, but it's just finding the time to put these little things in. Working on this massive project needs all this time and attention. Doing this little bit over here, it's just kind of, right, okay, I'll do that now. Right, that's in, that's part of the bigger picture. So we'll all make it in. It's great. XLG, will the clock have alarms? I don't think so. I think it's just a very simple clock which gives you the galactic time. There were some people asking whether or not it was going to be GMT or universal, but it's galactic time. It's just standard time. Exactly, Malik. That's it. What's that? What are you on about? It's not. Ed's been kicked out of features. Poor Ed. Oh. zones are so much of pain in just one planet. How will this work? Yeah, see, this is exactly the thing. It's no sense having a 24-hour clock in a galaxy in the future like this. Does it? All planets rotate in different speeds. It's just set to 24 hours because, hey, that's what the human body clock is used to. Gravespawn. What's that? Who cares about clocks? Thargo's at Aircoins. What do you want about? I know what you want. You want more explosions. That's what you want. I want more explosions as well. Of course, that's one of the things which engineers is really bringing into the fray is the ability to craft things as well, which is really, really cool. So going out and finding those engineers, the purpose of that is obviously to bring them rare materials to craft these exclusive things. One of the things that Michael Brooks was also talking about in his dev update was there will be missions which potentially give exclusive materials that you can't get any other way, so some really, really rare stuff which you can use to craft these special items. So that's some of the interesting things. So the missions are all getting more purpose for them. They're not just going after credits, because I think that's the problem at the moment. Everyone looks at missions and they just look for them as a quick money making thing. It's like, go for the mission which gives you the most money, grab that one. As soon as you've got enough money to do what you want, go off and do other actions and stuff like that. And then and like David Braben said, I think it was in the PC Gamer interview just recently, and he was saying about how it's unfortunate because the missions are intended to kind of lead you around the galaxy and go to different systems. So you're not always stuck in that little system that you're familiar with, to kind of take you around the galaxy. And like you said, it's at the moment that's not communicated very well, and that's something they really want to work on for 2.1 to make it a little bit more obvious exactly how you're going to achieve that. What's that? Whatever you say that? Ed for Emperor. Hail his shyness. Also, will the engineers look like they aren't wanted to kill the next person that's coming along? Oh, you mean the expression on the gut? Yeah, so the engineer last week did kind of look like, really, really couldn't be bothered to be helping you, wasn't it? Sort of look on him. And will they also have hair? Now, I know this is something which has come up, like, as soon as they showed people for the first time, as soon as they showed the faces, everyone was like, oh, everyone looks bald, you know, they're all shaven heads and stuff like that. Still no word on whether or not we're going to have any hairstyles. I imagine the hairstyles might be quite trim hairstyles. I'm not sure you're going to get flowing locks, because you can imagine that in 0G. That would just be crazy. It would be completely impractical. So yeah, I no word on what it's going to be, and I imagine the expressions. Well, at least I'm hoping the expressions on the characters. There is a reason for that. I think they actually they will get nicer as you know them well. It's, basically, as you build a reputation with these NPCs, they're going to remember that and recognize you and become familiar with you. So you will eventually build up a rapport with these NPCs, and they will start to respect you and not look at you with derision as soon as you enter in the room. So I think that's the reason why that guy looked like that. It's just like, you know, here's just like, you know, 0 rating. This guy doesn't know you. You're approaching him for the first time, and then as you start to work with them, it will they will improve, and they won't just pass you off. Galactic Minimum, keep getting smaller with each stream. We're going bigger Crash, even bigger Crash.
No.
Too big. Gracefawn, NPC romance confirmed. I'm afraid that is entirely speculation. But no, there's an idea of a kind of you build up a rapport and a reputation with the NPCs. That's the point of it. They are persistent. They do remember your interactions with them. If you fail a mission, if you succeed at a mission, they will remember those particular interactions with you. So I think they will project that in a way which you'll see that in their faces and things like that. So you'll be able to see visually straight away whether or not that person likes you, or you know, or thinks that you're a loser because you failed missions multiple times, you know, something like that. Hair is not a problem in 0G because helmets. That is true, Moonprayer, but you have to get that hair inside the helmets in the first place. You don't really want that getting caught inside your rem lock, do you? Because that would be a bit unfortunate, yes. Maybe if the rem locks come with a warning on the back of it, you cannot guarantee airtight, life-preserving seal in the case of long hair or something like that. So wear at your own risk. Rat King, greetings, Commander. What's that saying? There's also this some form of gravity inside your ship, because otherwise you'd be struggling to use the controls. Yeah, as Enship said, yeah, you don't need gravity to use the controls. There will be gravitational forces. I mean, if I was to put my ship into a flat spin like this, you'd feel the effect of gravity off to the side, and that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to in when we actually get out and start walking around in the ships. I love the idea that you might be walking around in someone else's ship. They're spinning the ship around in control, and you would actually, your character would be swaying around inside the corridors and whatnot inside your ship. And I've seen what they've done so far in Star Citizen. I think they still need to work on the way that it feels, because I think once you're inside a ship, it's like the gravity is just set to that ship, and it's just like you're in a first-person shooter level, and everything outside is just a world which is rotating around you. There doesn't seem to be any weight to the characters when you're walking around inside the ships. I really hope that when Frontier get to that point of doing the FPS style of play, that you actually see the gravity effects, the G-force effects of yanking your ship around and things like that. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. No, I haven't got no components for you. I'm looking for bounties. Frigga 8, wasn't it, Toad? I should really head over there. We'll head over there. Let's go back to Super Cruise first. Tequila so much you can imagine getting killed by a cannonball while walking around inside someone's ship. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what's going to take a lot of care and balance from Frontier, is to get the feel of how that works. Oh, how do you spell it, Toad? I forget how you spell it. Because if someone else is piloting a ship and you, it can't be all the way down there, is it? Frigga, no, frig. No, I cannot spell. Cannot spell. All these system names. Isn't Frigga? Oh, there you go. Frigga. Ha 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 ha. Who put the cat in there? Dog. Sick him. Sick him, dog. Sick him. That hasn't got an 8. Did you say 8 or 7? I did say 8. I've got the wrong place. Where's Toad? Toad, I'm lost. Stay in this system for now. Homogravity is the warping of space-time. Yeah, sorry, I was really mixing the terms between gravitational force and G-forces, which are two completely different things. Like you said, centrifugal and centripetal forces. So yeah, like I said, spinning your ship around, you will feel that centripetal force pushing you. What's that? Frig 7 and Fine Planet 8. Okay, Toad. Okie dokie. Frig ha ha ha. It is.
You can spell it as well.
I can.
You still haven't spelled it right now.
I've spelled it. Just. It's weird that planets. Oh, I know where it is. I don't have the entire system data for this one. Unfortunately, I don't have a Discovery scanner on my. Yes, you're right, Commander John. I don't have it on the Further Lance. Chili Wasp, you wonder how boarding defense will work. Yes, going back to that. Yeah, so that idea of you're walking around in someone else's ship, they're in the middle of a combat engagement, a cannon shot comes flying through the hull, and the whole thing explodes, and the atmosphere vents out, and all that kind of stuff. There's so many things that need to go in place to make that work really well. Enship, yes, I can use parallax. I've used that before to find planets. Yeah, so it's a really interesting problem. How is that going to work? Will combat have to be tweaked so that it's slower and it gives people time to do things in first person inside the ship? Because if combat engagements last as quickly as they did just now, where I was fighting that Viper, for example. Being in FPS just makes no sense. Being able to run around inside the ship, there's nothing you can do. You will be blown up before you can do anything. So, it has to be balanced. I'm really wondering how that's going to work. Vonitor! Greetings! It's a black hole. Is Toad sending me to a black hole, is he, Commander Jan? Is that what it is? He's sending me into a black hole. See, light might not be able to escape, but Squee can.
It just seems wrong.
It's better than Squee juice.
Yeah.
100%.
That's wrong. Really wrong. Drinking squee. Red Bull gives you wings.
So that masculine. If you was to design a ship, the cockpit would have no gravity with the controls for the gravity at the helm. So if it's boarded, you just raise the gravity, so everyone gets immediately squashed into the ground. So that's one of the things I love about the Elite universe, is they're completely removing that kind of out there sci-fi sort of stuff. Things like they're going for that hard sci-fi approach where there is no artificial gravity, because although we technically have the technology in this universe, they've got high enough energy densities that they could produce the gravitational effects inside a small area like a ship. They choose instead to go for the much more energy efficient methods of just having anyone who is in 0G have magnetic boots, which can clamp you down to the surface. And it's mentioned a lot in the books. If you read the books or listen to the audio books, there is a lot of mentions to the things, I can't see it, Toad, to the outfits that people wear so they can navigate in 0G. Is that it there? That looks like Frigaga. No, it can't be. Frigaga 8 has got to be another gas giant, hasn't it? It's got to be. Definitely looks like a moon. I should have got a friggin' Discovery scanner, shouldn't I? Never mind. I do love approaching planets like without the. If you turn off all of the lines on it still is really fascinating to see that tiny little pixel resolve into a sphere and eventually into a whole planet. When you weren't expecting it to be there. See, exploration, love it. Toad, how the can you miss a planet crash? I know.
Gifted.
See, I looked on the scanner. I thought it was black holes, but it was just dirt. It's not that one. It's definitely not that one. It is a gas giant, isn't it? Oh, we've got a high intense. See, this isn't part of the mission, but I really want to try a conflict zone. There's a conflict zone here. It's resource extraction sites. I can go there. I'm gifted. Yes, I could miss anything quite easily. Let's go into the let's go into the resource extraction sites, I think, and then we'll. Oh, where is it? Behind me. It's behind you. It's behind you. There it is. There's the planet. I see it. Gao Mid. Yes, I've been exploring. I've been to Sajay and back. I've been out there. I do want to try and circumnavigate the disc at some point. I will go out back and around. I've got rusty, okay? I got rusty with the exploration. I haven't done it in a while, so. Glimsong, the only problem with no gravity for prolonged periods is muscle atrophy. Absolutely correct, yes. That is one of the big problems with it. I'm hoping that 1,000 years in the future that humans have managed to find significant ways of solving that problem. I think the big one is going to be the flight suits that you see everyone in, which I imagine have some kind of way of, I don't know, maybe massaging your muscles to maintain the body mass and things like that. So it's, did I have the training wheels on or off? I turned it off and on. Anyway, landing gear, my landing gear up.
Do better than I could.
I can imagine the toxic frogs sat next to me now telling me like, Dad, it's right there, Dad, you missed it, Dad. Oh, good, let me fly.
He's better than me.
To be fair, he's had a lot more practice.
I'm not allowed on the computers.
Oh, here we go. Hang on, where did I put that teeny tiny violin? It's down here somewhere.
Get off.
All day she could go on it. All day she can go on it. No, she doesn't want to. She prefers to sit on the TV.
On the TV?
Yeah, literally on the TV. Yeah, true. What's that twist? Is that you have magnetic butt cheeks to keep you in the seat? Okay. That's one way of doing it. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Destination lock engaged. Right. Rat King! What's that? Maybe you have to go out there and rescue Mad Dog when he runs out of fuel. Oh, I will gladly rescue Mad Dog, but I don't think he's going to be in trouble again. Because I don't think he's an idiot. Air brakes, air brakes! You only run it once. Exactly, Mad Dog.
They just won't let you live it down, will they?
You tell them, Mad Dog, but I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall.
Jesus. Friends match?
What have you got there? No, minor. Never shoot minors. So we're waiting for a few ships to show up. Let's come to a complete halt. Gosh, where we got back to on the newsletter. Yes, some highlights in there. Let's see if we can get this video to play. There was a cool video that was put up. I'm going to put this up for everyone on there. Hopefully that's not too loud. I can take my face out of the bit. You don't want to see my face.
No.
Oh, thanks. Pretty cool, huh? So, oh yes. Special thanks to the commanders in that. Yeah, that is a really, really cool video. I like that. It was featured in this. Of course, that was part of the. There was the trailer competition, wasn't it, for Horizons, and that was put up in there this week. I've lost the link now, and I've just closed it. Was it video by Spectalis? So that was nice one, good work. I like it a lot. There was one more thing I wanted to mention on which I think is live tonight. Actually, we'll get back to that in a second. Let's see if I can. Have we got any contacts in here at the moment? Let's have a look. Federal dropship. They're usually up to no good. Let's have a quick. Oh yes, there we go. One more little bit of pew pew, and we'll get back to the next thing I wanted to bring up tonight. And so there is a special announcement. I don't know, it's a special announcement. Didn't actually make it in the newsletter, but I've been told it's not a secret, so I can share. And I will bring that up on there. You might have seen it already if you keep track of the community.elitedangerous.com website, which I recommend you do because there is often little sneaky bits of information which kind of give you little hints at, oh, wrong weapon group. That was a waste. That was a waste of a shot. Yes, so there is something up on there at the moment. If you haven't already checked out the community.elitedangerous.com website, do it. Do it now. Alright, let's see how effective this thing is. Wow. Yeah, that's a little bit more powerful than a vulture was. I think I might forgo the plasma accelerator. Just the sheer damage you can do with the burst lasers is enough. Plus my goodness, I was only in a single pip to my systems, and I could already withstand a massive onslaught on that. Normally I'd have to switch back to 4 pips in the vulture. Yeah, I like this one. I do like the FDL. Whee! Yeah, I'm gonna finish your friend. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this actually, but I have found that if you subsystem target the power plant, I know they don't always explode on when you get them down to 0, but I have noticed if you continue to fire on the subsystems after they've reached 0, they do tend to detonate before the hull goes down to 0 as well. So I'm sure there's some damage considerations going into there. Yes, we've gone back to mini crash. Oh, sorry, Bitstar, I have a question. Why are some ship vapor trails blue and some ship orange? I believe it's to do with different ship manufacturers. I believe that's the reason behind it. I know when you boost, it changes the vapor trail output of your ship. I believe the main purpose is to do with the engine manufacturer. I think that is. There was a whole thing when the Kickstarter launched, the idea of being able to swap out different manufacturers with different effects and different abilities. There we go. Yeah, I quite like the feared lasers. I can get used to this. Little tweak to the loadout maybe, and I will like it. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat, see if I missed anything on there. Mike Snozzit, you never make mistakes. No, you, of course you don't, Snoz. You never seen you make a mistake. I don't think there's any alternative meaning to that at all, Bitstorm. I think it is literally just, you know, it was an art choice. It was a little design flair that they could put onto them. I don't think there was any ulterior. So I think maybe early on there was the concept of being able to put different engine types in modules and things like something they wanted to come back to. It's still a possibility with the crafting update coming in with engineers. It is something that they may consider is a possible function of future ship updates and things like that. I mean, you've seen it with the the variations, people like the Diamondback Explorer, the Diamondback Scout, the Keelback, the Type 6, all the, they're toying with the idea of having ships with modular external sections as well, so that you could kind of mix and match parts. It's something they always wanted to do. If you think way back when to the Kickstarter, there were some concepts pieces of the back of the Sidewinder with a whole bunch of different kind of engine outlets, thin ones and long ones and multiple vanes to direct the thrust and things like that. So they've always kind of been toying with the idea of that being a possibility, and I'm hoping in some future update that will be a thing. There we go, I went bigger for Snalls. I can go even bigger. No, it's not wanted. So, back on. So this is the thing I want to say. This is in the community website, so it's official. I can talk about it. There is a Galactic Academy, which has been started. This was an idea that was thrown around a few weeks ago by Zach. It's had a huge response from my fellow ambassadors and other key members of the community, which have been helping out since the very beginning. The basic premise of the Galactic Academy is to help newer players get into the game, and I think it's just a fantastic thing. It's exactly what I started Kerrash Landing for. Thank you, Game with Ian. Thank you. That's the link. It's what I do when I do the ambassador events. It's what an ambassador is all about, and I think it's just fantastic that we can now offer this kind of support on a practically 24/7 basis. So we've got this idea. There's a Discord chat. There's a TeamSpeak server. If there's any issues you have in the game, any questions you want to ask, basically it's a 24/7 contact line, which there we go, Max Ursa. Yes, that was. I knew I remember talking to Zach about it at some point. It was way back at Gamescom when he first mentioned it to us. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. So basically, it's a Discord TeamSpeak server. You can connect to it. There's going to be people on 24/7. There's people from UK, US, Australia. Yes, Abacus, we can talk about it now. No, Gaming with Ian, you don't need to close your stream now. In fact, if you wanted to get in on this, I'm sure we could get you in as a mentor. If you're hanging around in Discord, you could help people out. That's the cool thing about it. Community helping community. It is kind of in a way Enship. I think it's a fantastic idea. It's offering up advice from us. We've been playing it for hundreds of hours, some of us thousands of hours, and I think the whole idea of the academy is for people who have got, I think it's less than 14 hours of game experience. I think it's anyone in that sort of category. That would be Mrs. K. I think Toxic Frog is out of the equation now. I think he's played too much. But anyone who's like very early on in the game, just giving them some support and guidance and advice way early on. And I think it's a fantastic idea. It's really, really awesome. Abacus, that is an awesome idea. Yeah, we need an academy orbiting Planet Crash. That sounds like a community goal. I like the idea of that. We need to get that idea put forward. That's less than 18 hours. That's it, Abacus. Yes, it was somewhere in that ballpark. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic idea. I mean, it's what we've always been about here on Kerrash Landing. That's what the whole show has always been about, is helping people out, and it's just fantastic that it's actually Frontier have taken it so seriously that they have made an entire setup here and contacted us all. Someone just slammed into my ship, didn't they? Yes. Just space pilot. God, just cannot find good pilots these days. Never mind. So on the subject of community goals, we should skip to the oh no, before we get into the community goals, actually let's get back to the Galnet focus. Of course, as I mentioned right at the start, actually I've gone to the LHS 3447, which is near one of the starter systems. Erivate is the starter system for most people. So there's currently a community goal to set up a new station there, and the one I'm doing at the moment is to be handing in these bounties in the LHS system. It slammed into me again? Seriously? What is that? Weehawk. Python. Wanted. Watch the shields, mate. Right, Sorry, that was just rude. I was trying to talk to everyone on the stream. Terrible. Terrible. These NPCs, they just don't care. They really don't care, do they? They don't care. On that subject, I mean, that is one of the reasons why I am keen to work on my combat rank before 2.1, is because the Mistress of Minions, yeah, she has been putting some pretty scary things up on her Facebook and Twitter feed. She is really, really keen to give the NPCs more bite in the upcoming update. So yeah, little bit of a concern there that it's going to be much more difficult to work on your combat rank in future updates. Trying something really, I know, switching my loadout whilst I'm not even watching, I know, stupid. Like I said, I'm playing with this. Scanning me now. It is a hazardous site, I suppose. Does that work as a balance? Not really. Not with 2 pips. I'm trying to find. So I know with the vulture, I balanced it really nicely with the weapons. That if you, I think if you had 4 pips in your weapons, I could fire them, 2 sets independently of the other. Sorry, 1 weapon independently of the other weapon, and it would gradually power back up into the weapon capacitor, which I quite like that balance. That was a nice balance. Because if you completely exhausted the capacitor, you can just go to firing 1 laser, so you can maintain fire easily with just the 1 laser without draining your capacitor. I'm wondering if I could do the same. If I've got 4 pips in weapons, you can kind of do the same on this. Yeah, that's I have a play with that. I like the idea. Yes, Game with Ian, you're right. Yes, it's Chili Wasp and Twithy saying that. Yeah, it's about 100,000 light years away from the main star. It's quite a distance. So I'm hoping the station will be built closer. Is that true, Game with Ian? I didn't realise that. If you empty your weapon capacitor, you can drop a heatsink and get some back. Ah, that is interesting. That's something I need to play around with a little bit. I know that the one of the changes that Sandra put in was the idea that the weapons capacitor would dump excess heat into your ship. So there is a possibility there's a little bit of give and take there, that if you can get rid of some of the heat. Did I say light years or light seconds? Did I say light years, insignificant cat? I meant light seconds. Oh, there are some more pew-pews going off over there, but we have things to go over. Yes, so that is the community goals which are going on at the moment. I'm taking part in the bounty hunting one to protect traders, but there is actually a really cool one which I think fired up yesterday. I think this is a nice little nod to the guys at Lave Radio. They're looking for these rare blood crystals to build another transmitter. Someone's gone and thieved the last one, as the security officer John Stabler was telling us. They have thieved the transmitter. Damn them. But yeah, there's a nice little community going on at Lave Station at the moment, which I want to head up to and help with that as well if I get a chance. That makes sense, yeah, Gracewood. Yeah, the weapon capacitor isn't about powering the weapons, it's about cooling them. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, absolutely. That's where you get thermal overload if you drain it. Yeah, because it makes sense. I mean, your ship's power plant is continuously providing power. There's no kind of limit on the amount of power it can provide. It makes sense that the weapons capacitor is about the cooling capacity of that particular component. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. If you cool the ship back down, the capacitor is kind of the load is taken away from it. Mrs. K is bleeding into the shot, isn't she? There she is.
Sorry.
You off now?
Yeah.
Oh, right then. Everyone say bye, Mrs. K. So, Shizzle, what's the cargo limit on the blood crystals? I can't remember what the goal was. I think Do you pick them up from a... So I haven't been up there to check. Like I said, I've been so busy this week, I haven't had a chance to check. But I don't know whether they're a rare or whether they're just a... you can only get them under certain special circumstances. You have to be in a certain location to get them, I think. What's that, Stephen Asher? Oh, 21,000 tonnes collected and less than 50% in the first tier. Looks about 50,000 tonnes to get to the first tier. Oh, thank you. It's good to know that. We know what the target is. Should be entirely possible. Yeah, so a couple of fun community goals. I'm going to help it with this one for a little bit. I just want to try and get into that bracket in the bottom at least, so I can say I'll help with this one. Then I'll head up and I want to try and help out the Lave Radio community goal, which is up as well. I do love the community goals. I think they're fantastic for bringing players in a focal point in the galaxy, which I think is really good. It's floating phone. And yes, she didn't even know there's a green screen there.
I do. Yeah. There's no headlet.
Headless.
Headless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly armless, but...
Oh, you sad person.
I know. You don't have to be sad, but it helps. Another big, massive thing in the newsletter. 3D printed models, finally. I know this was something which everyone has wanted from back in the Kickstarter, and I know there was lots of reasons why. I'm not going to go into them. You know, they didn't actually make... I know the initial batch they weren't of the level of quality that they wanted, you know, but they found a supplier now. So Euclid 3D, is that, I can't pronounce that, EUCL3D website which specialises in sandstone-based 3D printing, so you get full colour models, and these are actually created from the genuine in-game models. I believe at the moment they got the Viper, the Cobra, and the Anaconda. Cool looking ships. I think the website has full details of the size and the scale of these models. There's Mrs. K. Say hi, Mrs. K. 20 tons was the limit. Thank you, Commander Azra, on there. Sorry, I didn't realise it was 20 tons. Oh, and Stephen Usher, yes, you said it as well, yeah. 20 tons was the limit on crystals there. Excellent. That's good to know. That means I won't go up there with a ridiculously high capacity ship. I'll just get something like a Cobra and head up there. 3D models, yes, exactly. Resin formed sand models, yeah. So it's kind of like sandstone, effectively. I mean, it's sand bound into a hard form, and fully coloured as well, which is pretty cool. And the little details. I mean, you can see the little thruster outputs. That is insanely detailed. They are really, really cool little things to have on your desk. What's this? What's that? 5-inch model is $29.99. The model Anaconda is $100. Is it? My goodness, $20 delivery. Yeah, I mean they're quite heavy, so I can imagine why the delivery is quite expensive. But pretty cool though. Pretty cool. And there is an AMA coming up as well. I don't know if I missed. Yeah, there it is. Next Friday. 7 PM GMT, there's going to be an AMA for the guys on there, and it's probably at this point, before you go, you should mention that I won't be streaming next week, will I?
No, you won't know.
I am banned from streaming next week because March the 11th is my birthday. Yes. I'm getting older. So yeah, I won't be streaming next week. I will be taking the night off. I should be doing something else, going out. Don't know what, she won't tell me. But I can't stream. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. So Alvin's doing the happy walk. Hi, Alvin.
Yeah.
So you heading off now?
Yeah.
Rightio then. So everyone say goodnight to Mrs. K again. She's officially off now. She's going to stop messaging on the phone. She's chatting to you guys. I know that's what she's doing. I'm
ignoring you.
Rightio.
Yeah.
But she's completely ignoring me. Yeah, she doesn't care.
Mm.
Rightio.
Okay, well.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch up with you later then.
All right then.
All right. Ciao.
Have fun in your resident dungeon birthday stuff. Oh dear.
No, it's 50 Shades of Grey was released last year. See, this year it was Deadpool, so as long as it isn't the International Women's Day or whatever it is, that's not a surprise. I would look forward to. There we go. So,
you never know, do you? You never know.
I'm gonna get back to queuing spaceships because that is. There we go.
No good night kiss. No.
No, good night. No, she
No.
doesn't care. She doesn't care. That's it.
Step away from the phone. It's my lifeline.
That's it. Yeah, keeps busy. Right, let's get back to pew-pewing some ships. Oh, I didn't mean to open that. Hang on, let's close that first. Right, I did see some pew-pews going on in this direction. Oh, there we go. Let's kind of look. Let's go and investigate. So the other thing I've done with this as well is I've fitted it out with some ridiculously expensive hull reinforcement. I've gone for the reactive armor, so I've never bothered paying for on a ship before because I've always just got really powerful shields. But I'm kind of like, I'm too apprehensive. I don't want to test this to the point of losing my shields, only to find out that yeah, the reactive armor isn't all it's cooked up to be. I don't want the rebuy cost. I can afford it, but it would be rather annoying. It makes pretty short work of the old Anaconda shielding as well. Got quite a tight clustering on the weapons as well, which is quite nice. There we go. Yeah, I do like the FDL. I should be looking for recommended loadouts. I know, Toad, you got a pretty cool loadout of the FDL that you use for pew-pew, so I might be calling you up on suggestions. Boy, how many countermeasures. Damn it. Uh-oh. Taking too many hits. I'm gonna boil you up. Mr. Purple Street, does anybody know what Kerrash's loadout is? My loadout is pants, because I have literally just started playing with it tonight and I'm not entirely convinced that it's the right loadout to use. See, I should have got the plasma accelerator out, shouldn't I? Yeah, let me put a couple of fire groups in. I'm playing with a new loadout at the moment, and I'm not sure how I feel about it at the moment. I need to play around with it a little bit more. Let's try that. I can try switching over. It's pretty much an A-rated for the lads. It cost a small fortune. It's got everything in the kitchen sink bolted on it, and yeah, just crazy powerful. Crazy powerful. Shizzle, hull meta is the new meta in PvP. I know what you mean. I'm not sure I like using that. Nothing against it. Just that term, using meta for something like mechanic. Are the two things really interchangeable? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a pedant, but yeah, I know what you mean though. A lot of this hull tanking is the way to go at the moment. A lot of people are focusing on that style of gameplay for PvP. It's interesting the options got, because there's so many options on exactly how you want to play the game. You know, in terms of setting up your ship loadout. Let's try the. Let's try. That's what I made the mistake of. I was firing the plasma accelerator like it was a railgun earlier on. Maybe I should go to rails. Boom! Headshot! Is that 69%? Boom! 55. I don't know, I reckon you could just pop away with the burst lasers and you could probably do just as much damage over time as you could with plasmas. And probably the problem with the plasmas as well is, of course, you have to maintain the ammo as well, which is a pain, which is why I like lasers. Oh, shit. Just the sheer speed at which you can get down with the burst lasers. Yeah, I'm thinking just focus on the burst lasers. I mean, I could put the additional power that I'm not wasting on the plasma accelerator, I could put into maybe another shield booster or a shield cell or something like that. Might give me enough overhead then I could work on heatsink shield cell bill instead. I don't know how effective that is. 50 Shades of Squee from Mrs. Noodles. So that game with the energy. Also, shields were quite important, but you've had your butt handed to you by quite a few players with no shields and a ton of hull and reinforcement packages. Yeah, I think with the the Federal assault ships and the drop ships, I think you can really kind of load them out with hull reinforcements and do a real kind of great job of tanking effectively. What have we got over here? Is that a miner? Can't see. What are you? Asp Explorer. You look innocent. How are you doing for bounties now? I'm not doing great on bounties, am I? Oh, 200,000, yeah, a few. Want to buy huge railguns? Moonprayer, you are in luck. That was one of the things I think was mentioned in coming up in 2.1. There's going to be some more huge hard points as well coming in. So that Enshiv on there, min-maxing that people do is a bit off-putting, but you get that's a separate game in itself, you can respect that. Yeah, it is kind of an interesting kind of looking at the stats and stuff. I've never really been into it. I like to try and find something which is reasonably good at everything, but yeah, I can see how people can enjoy trying to find the ultimate thing for a particular build, you know, whatever they're trying to achieve. No one else at the moment. No more pews. No more pews. Let's just scan the horizon for pews. What's that? What's that great one? Oh, your personal opinion is Fertilance doesn't have enough juice to run 4 burst lasers. You can have a larger power plant. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you cannot sustain 4 bursts at 4 pips. Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I found on it. So that's why I've kind of balanced it up. So I've got it on the 2 fire groups either side of the field of view here. Is that I can have the left and right on different things. So that way I can still maintain fire even though the capacitor is drained. So I kind of liked that in the Vulture. I had the Vulture set up with the 2 burst lasers, and I could fire full beam, both beams at the same time to get the shields down. And then once the shield's down, I could leave it in 4 pips, but I could effectively maintain fire by just firing the 1 laser, to keep popping away at the power plant, for example. No one else appearing. Let's head back towards the center of the site. Might be some. Twisty. Yeah, exactly. I found that just now. I mean, the first lance with the 4 burst lasers there, boom, small ships are just gone, absolutely gone. Oh, Moonprayer. Yeah, good point. Actually, yeah, you're right. They've announced the huge multi cannons, but I'm not sure about railguns. Yeah, maybe they have. I mean, it's definitely something. I mean, they always said right from the very start that the whole idea of the weapon systems and stuff is that kind of like that progressive, gradually improving over time. Things will get bigger as players get towards bigger ships and things. So there will be more and more options as they move up to them. Absolutely, and as bigger threats come into the game, there will be more options as well. Multis or cannons, gimbals prefers. Yeah, I like gimbaled multi-cannons. They are my favourite kind of weapon, but I get frustrated with having to reload. I did find that the stuff you can do with the synthesis, where you can go in, you can just make the your munitions for the various things. I found that really, really cool. Actually, I used it for the first time a couple of weeks back. And it's just really nice being able to just stay in a combat zone and not have to go back and reload. You can just keep doing it. It really gave me an incentive to go and just stock up and down onto a planet in the SRV and just stock up on the materials. Because I think you only need something like iron and nickel for the small caliber stuff. Iron, nickel, and sulfur. It's not much. They're all common elements. You could find them. So you could just sit there on multi-cannons and just constantly keep reloading in a combat zone, and it's a really cool way of just stacking up the kills in a combat zone. hierarchy, you know, what's that? Speculation face! Yeah, absolutely. Game of the Year, has there been any further talk of SRVs? I don't know if there's any additional words on that. I don't think Frontier have mentioned anything else, but it's always been on the cards that it's something they want to do, that there will be different types of SRVs with different purposes at some point in there. I don't know when they might make it in. I know that in the previous updates we've had new ships come in, so I would hope that with each incremental update, 2.1, 2.2 and stuff, we might see at least one more type of surface vehicle. That would be a nice nice addition. But 2.1 is already sounding like it is shaping up to be probably the biggest point release update that the folks at FD have done. There is so much content going into 2.1. I can't even begin to cover it all. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. Mike Snarls, yes. You think there was a mention of at least one or more somewhere? There was, yeah, in a dev post, I think, way back when. And you would personally expect more speculation. Mike, you're invoking the speculation banner. Oh, rightio, Snarls. Okay. See, I feel really bad. I hope the alert isn't too loud. Sorry. What have we got here? Oh, I don't think he's gonna last it. Oh, pew, pew. There we go. We get a blip in. I got a bounty. That's okay. We didn't get to scan him. We got a bounty. Cheap shot. What have we got behind us? Ooh, oh, more pew pews. And more pew pews over there as well. Federal assault ship. Let's go check the fire goods we got. 1, 2, kill warrant scanner. Yeah, we got time. Oh no. Let's take the heat off this guy. Pew, 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 pew. So this has reminded me, actually, one of the important things that was mentioned a couple of weeks ago, you might have missed it on the forums, is Sandra was talking about the changes to the security of particular systems. I think it was mentioned in last week's newsletter. I think Michael Brooks kind of backed it up with a couple of the points he was saying today. It sounds like some of the changes that Sandra was talking about last week for the security of particular systems might very well make it into 2.1. I think it kind of makes sense. Oh, sorry, buddy. Oh, no! Oopsie! Oopsie, that was a little more than a fender bender. Methinks I might need to get out of this system. Yes, I just bounced off that poor defenseless miner and fractured his hull. Oopsie. Oopsie. The galaxy is a cruel place. Yes, so if... Murder! I know, I feel so guilty. It's an NPC and I feel really guilty. So yeah, the idea of the changes to the security system is basically the idea that... I see, that's... I'm not a fan of the Plasmic Savage here. High security systems, you know, ones which are in a nice state, high population, high wealth, that kind of thing. The security response, you know, as it should be a lot higher, and that's one of the things that Sandro said. It is at the moment. There is a factor to play in the way that the background simulation does that. Sorry, Toad. Yeah, sorry, Toad. I'm apologising for apologising. Oh, you know me, Toad. You know me. There you go. Pew pew. Right, let's get the heck out of Dodge before I get into more trouble. Yes, so the idea is that what Sandro's changes were is to amplify that difference. So at the moment you will see that in high population, high security systems, you will see a quicker, more hostile response to someone who interdicts you and attacks you. But at the moment it's not really easy to see. It's kind of doesn't look like there's much of a difference to most people. Is that, yes, I've got a bounty. I'm going to have to pay that off, aren't I? Oh, let's head back to, where is it, Ross? LHS. There we go. Cool. Let's get out of Dodge. I've got enough bounties. Let's go hand them in, so I get on the scoreboard for the community goal. At least I've helped, and then we'll get rid of that bounty in a little bit. Are you sure I'm not Canadian, Commander Humble? I believe I do have some relatives in Canada, so maybe there is a little bit of Canadian blood. Maybe. I don't know. Gal Midden, yes, Facebook post by Frontier a while ago. They will be getting bookmarks. Look at that! Look, bookmarks! Look at it! Yay! Such a simple little change, but it's really going to make a big difference to everyone. I mean, not just explorers as well, but the when you're in the bubble as well, being able to. What's that? Did I miss? Did I miss that? What's that? He deserved it. I heard I did miss your Mad Dog comment, Toad. Sorry. Galmid, yes, happy chap. I'm a happy chappy about that as well. I think that's a fantastic addition to the game, and like I said, it's these little incremental improvements are the things that just make the game better and better for every version. What's that? System security response time is lowered on top of what the Sarah Jane Aver's AI might actually work. Yeah, the changes she's talking about to the AI. Interestingly enough, there were some funny things going on for there. People were saying things about what was it, the AI having unlimited chaffing, unlimited ammo, gimbaled railguns, armor buffs, thruster buffs. There was all these woof woof. Sorry, was I looking at the nav panel? I do apologise, Mad Dog, if I wasn't seeing your things. So there was all these mentions of the NPCs having all of these additional features, and I was chatting to SJA, and she said that they don't have any of these things. Yeah, I think people kind of overestimate the abilities of the NPCs. There is so much more she could do with them. She's actually held the NPCs right back. And for anyone who's watching this, you don't realise Sarah Jane Avery, she's one of the key AI programmers behind the maneuvering and the kind of like the what she said. I think she said it was like the low level. I mean, there's different tiers to how the systems programming work, but she works on the things like the maneuvering and the what the AI's response is to certain situations and things like that. There is so much more she could do with the AI to make them just more brutal to say these. And this thing she's been working on, a technique to I think the reverse flying technique, which people have used to keep a target in sight and keep firing on them. She's got a tactic to avoid that. All these things she's had queued up for a while, and I think they're all going into 2.1. Uber Dodo, it's very possible that the reason why bookmarks are being mentioned is because the smaller things were it's all about scheduling. Different people, different groups of people in the same team are working on different things at the same time. So I imagine the reason why they're pushing 2.1 back is because one of the bigger features that one group is working on is effectively needs more time to polish off. I mean, I don't know whether it's the mission systems or something like that. I don't know what the actual feature is. But if that one is pushing out by 6 weeks, that means some of the smaller things that only need maybe a day or more's focus to polish off, where they would have missed the April deadline in the previous target that they were going for. Now that deadline's been pushed out 6 weeks, there's more time to finish off these smaller things. So I imagine the bookmarks thing is a smaller thing that would have had to have waited until 2.2 initially, but now there's extra time in there. Not everyone can work on that one blocking feature, which is going to push it out by the 6 weeks. So they're going to be working on other parts, other aspects of the game at the same time. So all those other little things can make it in. I mean, the mention of a system clock, that wasn't mentioned anywhere. A clock in your cockpit, that wasn't mentioned anywhere until today's newsletter. So I imagine that could have been one of the features that they were penciling in for 2.2. But effectively now they can they can slot it into 2.1. It's all a question of, you know, bubbling all these things together, bringing all these little individual branches, individual people are working on multiple copies of the game at the same time, and it's all about bringing it back into the trunk build and, you know, getting it all together. Commander Humble, you like the spinning in place maneuver myself. Yeah, the AI was really good at that, weren't they? They were really good. I think that's one of the fixes which is going again. So Enshiv, this is true, but as a dev working on large things, my experience is that the more stuff you have in a release, the harder it is to stabilize it. Yeah. This is why you want many small releases instead of doing big ones. I mean, this is one of the things they did mention in Michael Brook's dev update, is they are actually going to be doing some smaller incremental updates between now and 2.1. So there are some incremental patches that are going in. So I think some of those smaller things are going to get in before 2.1 as well. But I understand what you mean. Yeah, bringing in so many more features, it does get messy to consolidate a release like that. I understand it. I've worked on a big dev project like that before, and it can be a nightmare. In fact, I was managing the release for a big project like that, and it was very difficult to coordinate the whole team. Galactic Surfer, I wish you could make notes to ourselves within the game, kind of like a log or a workbook keeps bits of info we discover. So yeah, that is something which was talked about again way back in the Kickstarter and the DDF days and all that kind of stuff, is the idea of a commander's log, so to speak. But you can see then the left hand side, if you look at the concept for this here, you've got this found an odd object. So it looks like in the way that the guys are considering this, that you could literally pick anywhere, any place as a bookmark and type in an arbitrary value in there. So effectively that is getting somewhere close to that. I know it's not a fully featured commander's log, but it's a pretty cool little addition to the in-game UI, which I think will make the world of difference to a lot of people out there, being able to find and mark places where these things are. I mean, particularly for things like the Canon research group looking for the alien artifacts and things like that. It's really going to be a godsend of being able to just place out areas in the galaxy, right, and so kind of triangulate things, because they've actually done some of the stuff where they've tried to work out where in the galaxy something is by looking at the distances. I mean, that was one of the community goals that came up a little while back. Not community goal, sorry. The next part of the story was there a signal which detected within a certain range of the station, Obsidian Orbital. Yeah, it was Obsidian. Yes, out in the Pleiades Nebula. It was, you know, so many light years around it. But trying to actually coordinate where that is in the galactic map is really, really difficult. So having bookmarks is like, thank you, thank you. I missed that there. What did... I missed that. What's that saying there? Dog Shanray? The blind speculation of the... we don't know the pipeline. We don't know what they're working on. I'm guessing as well, so I'm kind of guilty of it. I won't say too much more. I mean, I'm kind of guessing at what their interaction is. I don't really know myself, so I'm hoping that some of these features will be moved along. It kind of makes sense that that's what's going on, I think. What's that bit? Some these bookmarks, is it going to be system objects only, or unable to bookmark, say, a unique planetary feature? Again, looking at the thing, when you look at the little icons down the left hand side here, you've got these kind of the symbols which suggest that it would have to be some kind of selectable navigated target. I like the top one, I am wanted here, do not go to this system, there be dragons. But yeah, you look and you can tag individual stations, you can tag the you know, security bases and things like that on the surfaces. But then this one is kind of interesting. I mean, what is this? Found an odd object. It looks like they've selected a planet. and just put an arbitrary label on there and spelled object wrong. I just noticed that. But yeah, are we going to be able to pick a point on a surface of a planet? That is a really important thing, actually, Bitstorm. I think it'd be worth getting that clarified. I'll see if I can get the answer to that. But it's it would be really, really handy to see, you know, that longitude and latitude on that planet is where I put that bookmark. That would be really cool. What's that? Ancient? The iron triangle of projects, time, scope, and quality cannot move just one. Yeah, it's something I also used to say to some of my old managers was just to simplify. It's like quantity, quality, quick, pick two. You know, you're never gonna get all three. You know, it's like if you want more of it, it's like either it's gonna be slower or it's just not gonna be of the quality that you're expecting. And more often than not, unfortunately, people want more stuff and they want it quicker, and then they wonder why the quality is so bad. It always happens. It always happens. It'll be out soon, TM. Exactly, Toad. There's always this focus. Everyone wants it now. Everyone wants it yesterday. There's always that focus to drive and get it sooner and sooner. No, everyone wants it now. But I absolutely understand. I support what they're doing. You know, pushing it out by a few weeks. It's not the end of the world. You know, we've waited this long for it. I think a lot of people are also concerned with the ideas, you know, if 2.1 is pushed out 6 weeks, will it push out 2.2 and 2.3 and all those kind of things? I don't think so. I think it just means that, you know, like I said, some of the smaller features of 2.2 will probably make it into 2.1, and it means that the 2.2 update will have different features into what was initially planned. You know, plans change. These schedules shift, and what have we got? No, stop looking at signal sources. Crash, stop it. Ooh, shiny. Ooh, shiny. You know, plans change, and it's been like that from the very start. I mean, the initial plan for what was going to be in the content for the 1.4 patch was not what it turned out to be in the end. You know, we had no idea that CQC was coming along. It was a complete sideswipe. We had no idea about power play and the features that were coming into those updates. And it's always going to be the same. In every season of updates, there's always going to be content that we didn't anticipate and things that we did anticipate being pushed out. It's going to happen. I've turned off the... Didn't realise I turned off all the things. I quite like that, actually. Turning off all the navigation orbit lines and things like that. What's that, Chile? Well, second half of the year for the recent, every 2 months. I mean, what are they looking at there? Second half of the year, so it's going to be May for the beta. It'll be June before 2.1 gets into everyone's hands. And then we're looking at what, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. So you're looking at another 3 major updates they wanted to do. It's very likely that it could slip over into next year before we get 2.4. It is possible that can happen. You know, if this 6 weeks is a knock on 6 weeks, who knows, by the summer they could have hired a shed load more people. I know they've got something like 25 vacancies they're trying to fill at the moment. But I think the important thing to note there, you know, people looked at this financial report and was like, oh, MG is like the financial report, they're pushing everything out, oh, they're losing money, oh. There was all this crying and bitching, which you always see on these kind of things. Hiring 25 people is not the move that a company in financial distress makes. In quite the opposite. That shows that they are actually in very good financial position, and you know, they desperately want to fill these positions. So you know, it's a lot of food bar going out there, a lot of FUD, people spreading tish because they don't understand the actual circumstances in there. I mean, you know, who knows? Like I said, they could get a huge influx of talented people coming into the studio in the next couple of months, and yes, they could very well absolutely smash those targets in the next few releases, or they could be completely pushed out because you know, it's too much of a crunch. And to be honest, I would rather they push it out and get it done nice, so that 2.4 and 3.0 or whatever comes along and those timescales actually gets the polish that it needs. Missed a couple of questions on there. Galmid question: how many people have a second commander and contemplating making purchase, put money and time? I mean, I've got my son's account, which I've used for a couple of things. I haven't. No, I technically do have a second. I've got the Xbox account as well, but again, like you said, time. I don't have time to do 2 whole commander profiles. So there are Firefly. Yeah, I mean, there are some reasons why having a second commander is useful. You know, you can role play as a different character and things like that. A lot of people have mentioned that they want the ability to do that kind of thing, which is quite nice. And it's quite cheap to just grab another account. So, oh, hang on, what do I do? Oh, I handed, yes, sorry. 500,000 credits. That's not bad. I've got a few more bounties in other systems. Damn, that one isn't there. I need to get rid of that frigga one as well. There we go. Where does that put me into the 99%? Oh, into the top 50. Woo! Excellent. Excellent. That's not bad for an evening's work. I just need to clear that frigga bounty and we'll get on with it. What's that? Globe MC2? You haven't tried your share of smuggling yet? Are you talking smuggling slaves, imperial slaves? Smuggling is a really good way of making a lot of money quick, but it's got a lot more risky of late because of some changes to the ship loadout and stuff. If you do it in the smaller ships and you run silent running, it's still pretty cool. It's fun. That last few moments is quite exciting. Tolgraph, do you think the schedule shift might be because FT wants to sync up the Xbox Horizons with the PC edition? You highly doubt we'll see Season 3 this year. That's a good point. I mean, that might be a reason why they want to do it. I don't know. I don't think there's any reason why the Xbox version should hold back the PC version. No, they've always said that they are completely independent. I mean, the Xbox players have not had Horizons yet, and everyone's been carrying on in the same galaxy. So I don't think there's any reason why the one should hold back the other. So I don't think that would be the reason. Again, it's a possibility. We just don't know. We don't know what's going on under the hood at Frontier, but I doubt very much that's the reason. I see the problem with seeing Season 3 this year. I know that this time around they have actually stated what Season 2 is going to be, and they actually put stakes in the ground and said it's going to be, update 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what they wanted. Now they've actually stated that. It's like, oh crap, we've got a delay, and now people are going to realise that these things happen and delays get pushed out and stuff like it's par for the course. As soon as you put something up in light saying this is what we're going to do, there's a problem. Last season they didn't highlight what they were doing on each one of the updates, and it meant that they could shift and change, and they could say the content of the update was different when they knew what they were going to be able to get done. It's a tricky thing. I'm trying to catch up with everything on there. Good point, Toad. Yeah, no one said that Season 3 was coming out this year. They've only said about Season 2 updates coming out. And I don't think they've put a deadline on 2.4. It's not saying devs won't get burned out. They're treated very well, and they have a crash dartboard in the kitchen. Yes, to throw darts at my face. Yeah, absolutely. They've got that in a big A3 so that they could throw darts at my eye. Smuggling slaves is against your morals, aren't they? See, that's one of the reasons why I like the idea of doing a second account. Exactly, is so I can try things I wouldn't normally do, things that I feel guilty about doing. I could just go off and have a mess around, and on another commander profile. Let's see what we've got in here. I don't think we've actually. No, there's not a very good outfitting in here. But we'll have a look. We'll see what we got on there. You're fine with the delay though, Tolgraph. You can start playing Elite anytime. Doesn't matter when. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of players probably won't even notice that there's such a big delay on these kind of things. There's so much stuff that people are doing in the game anyway. So that's nice. There's one whining in the Facebook group at the moment saying it's boring. So I think there should be one on how to make the game interesting for yourself. Grow in imagination. Yeah, I watched a really good YouTube video earlier in the week where someone was saying, the main reason why people have this huge issue with the game is that they just can't imagine what to do in it. What's a an interesting way of spending their time, and I don't think you could teach people that. You either have it or you don't. Shall I put another burst laser on here? Beam. I want another burst laser, really, not what we got. I'm shopping now, sorry. Beam laser, no, beam laser. Should I try a beam laser? No. Cannon. No, we need to go somewhere with a better shipyard. I think we'll head out to somewhere in a second. I swear I should have a. I'm gonna go back to the Ferrari look. I swear I should have the gold paint job on here. I don't know why I haven't got the gold paint job. I need to check. Make sure it was added to my account. That's the one, Shanra. Yes, the problem with Elite Dangerous is you. It was quite an interesting discussion. I was listening to what he was saying on there. It was you know, when you actually break it down and look at it, you find a lot of these problems is people are just spoon fed these days. They expect games to be like interactive movies where you occasionally push the forward button, and you know that's all you have to do, sort of thing. And of course we didn't grow up with games like that. We're used to games where you have to read a manual an inch thick and figure it out one step at a time. But yeah, I think that's unfortunate. That's the kind of the place we're in today with modern games. People expect them to be experiences that lead them and handhold them through. Richard Beck, it's not a bad loadout. I need to tweak it a little bit. It's I'm not sure about the weapon loadout, but it is quite nice. It's frigging expensive, I'll say that. Where did I go to? Was it? No, it wasn't there. Was it Nito? Did I go to Nito, or is it GD? I think it was GD219. I believe I was there. Mickey earring. It's where I left Mickey earring. Let's head on out that way. See if we can find some better stuff for this one. Duck. Is it 2 jumps? Really? Oh my goodness. That is the one problem with the FDR with the, what have I got? 11 light years jump range. Ugh. Buff. It's not good enough. Of course. See, that's the sort of thing I hate on there. It's like, yes, ships must have some form of disadvantage. They cannot be the most uber ship ever. There has to be a balance. That's the one, XRG. Yes, thank you. That's the video there. Worth clicking on that. Give it a watch later and have a look at that. Oh, was that the one you put in the forums? Was it Grey Spawn? Ah, I see. Yes, it was a good video. It's interesting. He's done a couple more as well. I've been meaning to watch them. Like I said, I've had a busy week, so I haven't had a chance to watch them all yet. But yeah, it's, you know, when you start thinking about these things logically, you realise the game is there. The game has all this stuff in, you know. And I know, like I said right at the start of tonight, that David Braben's gone and said that, you know, there's a lot of stuff in the game which people just haven't even found yet because it doesn't present it well. It doesn't immediately put it in your face, and it's about kind of subtly showing you that there are options, there is things for you to do, and it's always been that balance. Frontier have not wanted to kind of spoil everything by saying, I was like, whoa, yes, the Thargoids are over there, yes, there you go do that, you know, here's all the stuff, you know, here's the Formidine Rift, here's that, throwing that in your face. They didn't ever want to do that. They wanted to allow the players to discover them by themselves. And that's part of the joy of the game, so they didn't want to take that away, and that's one of the reasons why they didn't go to any extent in explaining every single system of the game and all of the subtle things you can do with your weapons loadout and your balancing various things in ship. They specifically didn't explain all those things because part of the joy of the game is discovering those things for yourself, learning how to land on a planet, learning how to dock with a station, all those kind of things. It's one of those things which it seems an insurmountable task when you first begin, but once you do it for the first time, it's fantastic. It's like having that puzzle game and beating that puzzle that you found really difficult, and then suddenly you know how to do it. It's like, yes, that's the thing that they didn't want to take away, which is why there was a delay in getting things out there, like the tutorials and things like that. It's one of the reasons why they didn't want to immediately spoil everything. Sorry, I've been rabbling on. What's that? Tac Macduff. You love ED, but you've have you? Sorry, I love ED, but have you taken a look at the game Rebel Galaxy? Not in the same league, but a fun sandbox. A little difference, cheap, and also say I know of Rebel Galaxy. I think is that the iOS game. I believe I downloaded and tried that for a period of time, and I think I have it on Steam now. I've not played it in a while though. Elite takes up a lot of my time. But yeah, that was an interesting little game. I do like the idea of being able to just play on on an iPad or on an iPhone or something like that. I would absolutely love to see a Frontier Elite 2 rehashed to run on a mobile device, something along that sort of, with that kind of like filled polygon vector graphics style gameplay, graphics on a mobile device. I think that would be a fantastic little game to play with, all of the depth of what Frontier Elite 2 had with a procedural galaxy and all that stuff, but in your mobile device. I even started prototyping one out actually because I desperately wanted one. I started doing it myself on Unity, hopefully to port it over onto some mobile apps, devices and things like that, but I've not had a chance to go back and play with it. But I would love to do it. I think it would be a really, really cool game. So Karakina, he would gladly give up the Thargoids for a possibility of an SRV race on the moon, which is not possible to land on right now. Yeah, I think that many people have said, the main reason why we can't land on Earth's moon is because it is a highly detailed, it needs a highly detailed map projected onto it, so that it has all of the recognizable features that we know of, things like that, and so the things like the historic sites, that you would expect to be in there that would be preserved, these ancient sites of the moon landings, for example, and stuff like that. You would expect them to be preserved as part of human history. So all of those little details need to go in, and that takes time. It's the same reason why Pluto hasn't been updated to have a complete map yet. It takes a heck of a lot of time to get that map data in there and switch it out. What's that with you? As a dev, you often have no idea the weird ways in which people use your product too. Sometimes not telling people allows you to fix things. Yeah, that's the thing. You put it out in the user's hands, and they find things that you never consider, and that's kind of the reason why alphas and betas out in public are a really, really good thing for developers. Finding things that you never even considered. It does make me laugh when it's like people say, didn't they think about this? Oh, this bug is awful, like that. And it's like, there's no way you could possibly consider every single aspect. You find that even on very, very simple programs. When you're simulating the entire Milky Way galaxy, can you imagine having to think about all of the possible different ways in which something could go wrong, and putting catches in for all those? You just couldn't do it. So Galactic, the moon is a military base conducting secret aliens experiment. That's why it's off limit. Oh no, wait. No, I don't think the moon is, but I think maybe what was it, Ross 780? Yeah, I think it was Ross 780 in the earlier games that had a crashed Thargoid ship with a research base around it, which was an interesting little feature. I've not found anything similar in Elite Dangerous though. Not to say that it's not out there, but it could be. Shall we go for a cannon? I quite like the idea of a cannon. A huge Morty cannon. I would love a huge Morty cannon. We've got a beam laser is just going to sap the batteries too much. We've got a pulse laser. Looking for a burst. Let's see if we can get a class 3 burst laser gimbaled, maybe. No, they haven't got one. Damn. Class 2s. Cannon is tempting. Fragment cannon's just got way too much too low in ammo. I like the idea of stashing away some missile racks just for a surprise. Surprise! Here you go. So that's Snoz. Have you got NDA envy again, Snoz? Have you? So some of the utterly huge technological leap needed from Frontier to the moment we land on the first populated world. Yeah, I don't think people really grasp what Frontier are aiming for with the populated planets. We're not talking about the size of the outposts that we've seen, you know, up to date in the atmosphere, less the worlds without atmosphere. You know, Frontier are going for these full cityscapes with you know, stuff happening and things going on. They're going for a full active environment. So that's going to take a lot of time. That really is. Graves Point, yes, I know. I've dropped the volume of the alarm sound on that because I know that it's quite loud for Snoz, and I don't want to cause any trouble. You know, I don't want to cause him any pain. What's that? An internal component that stores energy like a battery or capacitor to increase your combat capability. I mean, that's basically what the power distributor was. I mean, the initial design for the power distributor was it allowed you to have there was all kind of modules and sections to it. So there's a possibility that you could tweak that. I mean, if you find an engineer which can make a better power distributor, there is entirely possible that would be a thing in 2.1. Let's go for the pew pew. I'm not going to be able to run 5 lasers on it anyway, but huge railgun stashed away. You don't need to say surprise because there's no one left to talk to. I must try that. Was there any railguns? Let's have a look at the railgun. Oh, the B2 railgun. That's a bit puny. I want huge railgun. It's only 30 rounds as well. So I really want to play around more with railguns as well, but maybe we will do that. See, do I swap out the hull reinforcements and go for shield cells as well? I'm thinking that might be an idea. Get the heatsink launcher out. Let's give this a go. Now that we've only got names. That's right. Yeah. Now that we've only got beam lasers, let's try chucking a heatsink launcher on there. We've got 24. We've got plenty of that. Plenty of power. Was there a bigger laser? If you can. No, it's not the power, it's the power distributor which is the problem. Shield cells. What have we got for shield cells? D4, C4, B4, A4. That pushes the boat out a little bit. Let's just try one. We'll give it a go. Give it a go with the shield cells. See how that improves things. Let's tweak the fire groups. Don't forget your fire groups. Heatsink launcher. And yes, I think I've got a separate. Yeah, I've got a separate button for my shield cells, so that should be that. And let's put that in there in case I forget. I'm in panic mode and I can just quickly launch a heatsink. Let's have a look. Have we got any? No. Which bounties did I have left to hand in? One in frigate. It's a 5-day dormant bounty, but I've got 250,000. Let's head back to frigate. Is that game of the end? The hardpoint locations on the Python are still your best in your opinion? Again, I need to play with the Python a little bit more. I did enjoy playing with it, but I kind of parked it up after I did some of the community goals, and I haven't gone back to it since. I really should go back and play with it for combat. Kind of used it a lot for the community goals. It's fantastic because you can get onto the outposts and what. Ooh, good point. These are outposts. We can get there. We can get there. Let's see if we can get. Oh no, actually, did they have? Need to check to see if they've got. Frigga, haha. They've got a shipyard. I need to check for a shipyard. Docking, no. Damn it. No shipyard on any of these. Well, I'm not throwing away $250,000 in bounties. I've got to at least attempt to cash that in before the feds catch me. Let's head back out. We give it another test. Glimpse on. Yes, I know that's a bounty on me. I know I got 6,000 bounty on me because I reversed into a poor innocent miner and decimated him. In my defence, Gavna, he had no shields. I wasn't using my wing mirrors. I know, it's my bad. I murdered him, I know. But I've got a $250,000 in vouchers to hand in, so I'll hand those in, and then I might do the old Sidewinder pop trick, which feels like completely cheating, but I know that it works. Free Sidewinder, 700 credits rebuy, off the launch pad. There we go, tata. Stop bashing my... It was an accident, Galmid. I didn't mean to do it. I feel so bad. Hopefully the station doesn't shoot me down. Yeah, I was going to say, 4.5 million credit rebuy, risking it for a $250,000 bounty cash in. Risk and reward. What's that, Malik? It says something that all of the progress players in CQC run away from your matches, but the newbies stick around and give it a go. That's because they have no idea what they're getting into, you see. Say graceful, yeah. Fire up a thread. Crash. Moderator ambassador caught on a live stream ramming poor, innocent, defenseless NPC miners. I'll leave out the NPC bit because that would be more dramatic and potentially catastrophic. Oh, Commander, what sound did it make? A flat miner. Nice. Yes, it was an accident, Mr. Officer. I have no idea how he kept flying in front of me whilst I was merely testing my new weapons. It was entirely killing with my arse. Yes, I sat on him. Absolutely, I sat on him. Poor guy. Yeah, you should make that a trademark. To the forums. Needs to be a what's it? Professor Farnsworth meme, I think it is. It's an outrage! To the forums! Too much energy drink equals wanted in the system. Yep. I'll drink to that. I am wanted, Moonprayer. Yes, I am. I know I'm naughty. I feel awful. It was an accident. And this does highlight an interesting point, though. Is because everyone's always decrying that there should be more punishment for players who be bad in the game, and I absolutely understand where they're coming from. People are just player killing without any purpose or meaning, and it literally is just to be an ass sort of thing. There does need to be more consequence and punishment for those kind of things, but it needs to be very carefully balanced. And you can see with something like this, how much would this annoy someone who, you know, maybe doesn't have as much as a high tolerance, or, you know, or a newer player or something like that, accidentally bumps into someone, blows them up, crap, didn't mean to do that, gets a crazy bounty for murder on that person. And you know, if the punishment is raised for those kind of things, that would just absolutely really frustrate people for no reason. So it does need to be carefully considered at how these punishments are applied to players. You can't just kind of, like Sandro said, they can't just go in and make a blanket change and force everyone to you know, have these really harsh punishments or something. It needs to be carefully considered. Too much Red Bull energy. Too much. Ram straight into them. Are you suggesting we need a punishment for incompetence? No, Gambit. I mean, quite the opposite. I think the way that the punishments are calculated and applied needs to be carefully considered. That, so, you know, if it is a genuine mistake, it's not as harsh a punishment. And you can see that in effect. Frontier want the same approach, because I mean, we remember way back when that hitting anyone by accident flying in front of you would automatically apply a bounty to you. Bang, that's it. But of course they applied that. You have to cause a certain amount of damage within a certain amount of time. So if you do get a couple of stray shots, that no longer affects you as an immediate bounty and a big problem. So, you know, Frontier are kind of considerate of that. They do want to make it so that accidental things are not a big issue. But the sell these, yay! But the you know, the genuine cases where someone is, you know, kind of actively hunting players down and killing them without consequence, or not without consequence, without reason, is some of the things that they really want to try and address in the next version. So, you know, if another player like myself at the moment, I've got a bounty on my head, you know, even with the new system changes, I can absolutely imagine that, yeah, I'm fair game. I've got 6,000 credit bounty on my head. If another player came across me, then fair play, it's my own fault. I shouldn't be going in a system with a bounty, you know, and expecting not to be blown up. That absolutely needs to be a possible risk. Ban the Kerrash on there. Also, Bitstorm, are you have to worry that Frontier will end up differentiating players and NPCs in respect to murder fines? Well, I mean, Bitstorm, one of the other things that people were suggesting was going completely opposite way, is actually removing, I know Fiery Toad mentioned this, completely removing the distinction between players and NPCs, so that you show up on the scanner as a solid contact, and getting rid of the commander tag, or at least every single NPC has the commander tag as well, so that you cannot differentiate. So when you're flying around in Super Cruise, you have no idea that one target is an NPC and one target is a player. You know, if a player is in a cluster of NPCs, you wouldn't be able to see them as well. That's an interesting idea to it. So many ideas. I mean, some other ideas people put up in here. Sorry, also murder should murder should cost a bounty 10% of the total net worth. So generate a GTA like wanted system would be fun. Also like clean offender and fugitive. Yeah, people have also mentioned the idea of like a fugitive ranking and stuff like that. There is lots of ideas, and they do need to be carefully considered, because there is always a downside to you know, one idea or another. There's always going to be something which ends up having a knock-on effect, which makes it worse for other players for one reason or another. So it does need to be carefully considered. Surprise attack. What ship should you get after a Cobra Mark III? As Game with Ian says, yeah, it depends entirely what you want to do. Bounty hunting, yeah. Vulture, yeah. I agree with Game with Ian. Vulture is absolutely awesome ship for combat. What's that? Commander Caffeine! That sounds like I need to get a second account called Commander Caffeine. I like that. That's a good one. Where are we going? I haven't got any more bounties to hand in. I need to get back to a system with a little sidewinder so I can get rid of this little bounty. Somewhere I can buy a little sidewinder. What's the closest one? Keeney? Keeney? I've been to Keeney before. Swear I have. Oh, LHS is that. No, we don't want to go there. It'll take forever to get to there. Oh yes, so going back to what we were saying. Removing differentiation between the NPC and commander might be a very elegant solution. Added bonus for immersion as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think Toad originally suggested it, Fiery Toad, and I absolutely agree with him. I think I don't see the benefit of having player commanders show up as someone different on the targets. I think it's something which needs to go, really, and it would aid the solution. But of course, people could still guess. I mean, you could see a commander name would stand out. You know, it would be, you know, the people with names like backer number XXX, you know, that sort of thing. There's always commander names which people could still guess that that looks like a human. And of course, the way that the human acts would be different to an NPC, so you would be able to kind of still pick out humans. It would severely impact the ability of people from singling out humans and causing them grief. So it would help, but it's not the be-all and end-all. I do like the idea of the things that Sandro was suggesting, that a heavier police response would be a really, really cool thing as well. I know it seems a bit gamey, but there was also talk of the idea that it would kind of base the police response based on the type of ship the attacker was, which kind of makes sense. You know, if you have an armed robbery, they don't send the regular policeman, they send the SWAT team. So it kind of makes sense that, you know, if you've got someone who's just a regular low-level thug is attacking someone in a Cobra, they send a few Cobra police ships or something like that. But then if you've got someone who's like a wing of 4 Fer-de-Lances beating on people, then they'd send in a dozen Anacondas, sort of thing like that. So it kind of makes sense, those kind of reactions on there. And it also has got the added benefit of the fact that it fits in well with the lore as well. I like the idea that the police response in systems which are higher security would be quicker, it would be more vigorous. In the lower security systems, the anarchy systems, there might not be any response, you might be completely on your own. I like that idea because it also feeds into the background simulation as well, as it gives you more of a motivation for players to want to switch the state of a system. Like perhaps if you can mess around with the faction influences and get a system into a state of civil war, that it kind of has a knock-on bad effect to the response times of the police, because they're too busy fighting the civil war to respond to player incidents and stuff like that. I think that's really cool, because that means that people will actively want to start screwing with these system states to have these effects on the security in particular systems. I think that's really, really awesome, actually. Galmid, yeah. This is the problem I've had, is I've not got anywhere near the level of game time to asset ratio that I should have. The amount of time I've spent in game, and I've just not amassed very much, to be honest. Twithy was like, you'd like to know afterwards if it was a human or NPC if you killed them, or you killed, if they killed you or you killed them. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, you know. Killed by commander, not an NPC, you know. That's a bit storm. I think you prefer the non-differentiation of commanders as a solution. When NPCs are kill stealing, the solution was to give players priority over the NPCs for kills. You can see how that solved things, where you just don't like the idea of 2-tier system differentiation, NPCs and players. One rule for them all. Yeah, I like to try and I like the idea of bringing it all together, so it makes, you know, it just makes more sense. Maelstrom Bar, yeah, exactly. It would be more interesting when you see Commander Kate Russell out there. It's like, is that the Kate Russell, or is that the NPC named Kate Russell? It would get confusing really quickly. Sidey go boom time. Buy ship. Park the FDL. Killed the wrong character. Yeah, see, we all see. I didn't even read that bit. Yeah, Angel Rose. Yeah. Great minds think alike, so they say. Sabian Zero, greetings, Commander. Thanks for joining in tonight. Bumble, bookmarks are in. Bookmarks are coming. Bookmarks are coming. Let's just bring it back on. Yay, bookmarks! Yes, so that is will be. They've managed to sneak that feature into 2.1. It's going to be coming. Sometime in May, I think, for the first beta of 2.1. But it is a cool feature. It's just the things you can do with it. Again, it's you know, it's nice to have these little things that really do. Oh, there we go. Right, shields offline. Whee! Pop goes the sidey. Oh, come on! That should have went bang. Temperature critical. Temperature critical. Oh! Yay! There we go. Nice and easy. What's that? From. Oh, let me concentrate on this first. If I don't do the right thing on here, there we go. 760 credits, and it wipes my bounty. There we go. So that's the other thing as well. I mean, should there really be a check in the game which says if you do something stupid like that, does that count? You know, should your bounty only be cleared if you are killed by another ship, you know, NPC or player, regardless? You know, that kind of makes more sense. If someone has actively claimed your bounty should be wiped, rather than you just blown yourself up, that your bounty is wiped. You know, it's like what is fair? What, you know, what how can you consider it fair from all angles? What's that, Dartmouth? If you can tell if it's a player and NPC, why even have a multiplayer game? Yeah. See, again, there's arguments on all sides of the fence. See, this is the problem. Games when it was bloody hard because there are so many aspects of it which you don't consider. So you start sitting down, you get ideas from all people from all sides. You don't realise that there are so many possibilities, and it's often the case of picking the best of the worst set of ideas because not one solution is going to fit all possible ways as best as possible. That's the problem. What's it? Arms like noodles. Would it be more viable for the whole NPC player different to disappear when you get AI wingmen? Yeah, again, that's another thing. When once we got the ship launch fighters, I think David mentioned in the interview this week on Live Radio, actually, it was the ship launch fighters can be AI controlled as well. So does it make sense to remove that differentiation so you just see the color coded icons as friends and foe, or would you still want to see that one is AI controlled, that one is actually a player controller? You know, your friends in that ship. It's going to get really difficult. In fact, if no one caught last week, you should absolutely do it. For laveradio.com. It was their 100th episode this week, so congrats to the folks for it getting to 100 episodes. 3 years of programming on Live Radio. That's awesome. Yeah, and they had some great stuff. An interview with David Braben. I helped record a little piece as well for the Conclave, which was really, really cool. It was great fun to chat to some of the well-known people in the community for that. It was good. So if you haven't already listened to it, it's well worth a listen for the 100th episode. Right, let's retrieve my real ship. Again, I mean, we know that it was bounty system changes to the bounty system a little while back. You know, being able to have the dormant bounties and things like that last for a week and things like that. Again, that was a thing which was introduced to try and kind of marginalise the effect of players that are trying to cause trouble for other players in the game and stuff like that. And it did kind of work a little bit. So you can see kind of like over time, as these systems are incrementally introduced, it kind of makes it progressively a better and better place for most players in there. But yeah, it is one of those kind of really difficult things. How do you get it just right? So Twithy, the other day you were attacked by sorry, you were attacked by a player when bounty hunting, didn't think there was any reason behind it. He later said he roleplays defending the balt rats from bounty hunters. Totally okay with that. Exactly, it is. I've got nothing against players killing other players. I've nothing against PvP in general. I think is fine. I think when it becomes like an active thing, you're doing it just out of spite. I think that's when it starts to get silly. It's like killing players just because you can kill players. It's like, really, it's like if you're doing it for a roleplay reason, I think that's awesome. I've had pirates track me down, roleplay the whole part, scan me for cargo, let me go because I didn't have cargo and things like that. And I think that's really cool. It adds a really exciting and kind of element to the game. I think it's really, really awesome, which is nice to see. And it's nice to see players kind of working in kind of filling in the backstory for their characters that they're building up. That's what the game's about. I think that's really cool. I think it's just that kind of when people step over that line and they're just chasing people down because they're players and killing them because they're players. It's like why? You know, if you role play, then you really need to interact and have a dialogue with the people that you're attacking in the game. You know, I've had people attack me for no other reason than the fact that it's like they just see me and I'm in a system and they just attack me, and it's like, well, why did you do that? And it's like, well, because it was you and you're there. And it's like, okay, that's great, thanks. But, and it's like, I don't understand that mentality. I think that's just kind of a little silly, and it's kind of frustrating. And I can understand why people get really, really annoyed with that kind of behaviour. I really need to put a discovery. I will go back and discover that later. Let's see if we can do it. Frigga, no exploration data to buy. See, I should be able to get there. Damn it! I need a discovery scanner, but I don't want to drop my fuel scoop. First world problems. So Shannon, with the instancing issues, being able to distinguish the players and what's not, make the instancing a lot more annoying. Yeah, I know there's problems with the networking, but this is one of the things that Sarah Jane said as well about the AI. Some of the things that people were talking about the AI and saying like, oh, the NPCs are cheating because they're moving too fast and they're doing this, and it's like, like I think when you look at it, that actually just looks like network glitches and things like that. And synchronization errors between the instances, packet loss and things like that can cause the NPCs to jump around, and it's a matter of perspective, I suppose, isn't it? Night Vision, greetings, thanks for joining in. Yes, we were just talking about there are some changes to the way that the security response for ships in the game is coming up. This is one of the things that Sandro Samarco is one of the designers on Elite Dangerous. He's Max Erso, yeah, 34th century problems, yeah, exactly. Should I go for the Fur Lance or should I go for the Vulture? Yeah, so Night Vision, yeah, we were just talking about there's some changes to the way that the security responses are going to be working in the game, probably coming in the 2.1 update, which has been pushed back 6 weeks in case you didn't hear that in the newsletter as well. So there are going to be some improvements to the way that system works, I think, and it's something we've all been talking about for a while, is this idea that if you're in a high security system, there should be a more rapid and more brutal response for someone who attacks you, or if you attack another player. Yes, it should be a higher security response. If you're in an anarchy system, it should be like virtually none, or perhaps even no response whatsoever. If you're in an anarchy system, I think that makes absolute sense. N-shift danger, yes, but PvP should be opt-in. Yeah, I kind of PvP. I mean, it is kind of Is it opt-in? PvP is optional, absolutely, in the game. You don't need to engage in PvP, but I think at the moment there's I think someone had a really good explanation of it on the forum where they were kind of likening PvP to spam email. It's like you have no choice whether or not you receive it. you know, the moment the shoe is on the foot of the sender, basically the person who wants to engage in PvP can enforce PvP upon you whether you want it or not, and that's where a lot of the issues come down to. It is people don't actively want to get involved in PvP, and they're getting dragged into it, and it's like, well, there's a lot of arguments back and forth saying that if you don't want the PvP, you shouldn't be playing in open, but in the same respect, it's like, I can see why people want to play in open for that kind of coincidental meetups where you just bump into players and decide to wing up with them in a combat zone, and in that, for that co-op player with player sort of gameplay, which is, I think, one of my favourite aspects of the wrong planet. My favourite aspects of the game is that working as co-op, so you don't want to lose that by going into open, by not going into open. Yeah, it is a tricky thing to get right, and like I said, I think the only thing that Frontier can really do is to start to balance out the punishments for players who are continuously actively seeking out and causing grief to other players, and trying to identify it is the hardest part. What's that? You like people, but you don't like PvP, so you play in open, but you don't want PvP, and that's exactly what I think I was explaining there. Yeah, it's like you do play in Mobius, but you'd like to be in open. Yeah, and that's the thing, because you know, you play in a private group, and you are limiting yourself to that, to the people within that private group. You're then not exposing yourself to new players, which is a real shame. And you know, open. Really, I wish people could actively experience it, and it wasn't an awful experience. I think that's how some of these security changes are really panning out to improve that. I just noticed that moon. Sorry, I'm just shiny. Just noticed how close that moon was to the ring. I want to go investigate now. So there is griefing in open. Griefing does drive people out. Or at least out of open, if not out of the game entirely, and that's exactly there is. Whoa! Wasn't paying attention. There we go. There is some of that element to it. There, I don't. You know, if it was that bad that it was driving people away, you know, people who were getting attacked were just so annoyed with the game that they didn't bother coming back to the game. If it was that bad, I think Frontier would have responded to it a lot sooner. So I don't think it's as bad as what some people anticipate. But there is an element to it that, you know, it is going to frustrate some people to the point where they're just not going to want to play in a specific mode anymore. Sorry, that planet is just really cool. I haven't got an SRV though. Oh, I'm gonna have to come back here with an SRV. Let's get back to that resource zone. Sorry, totally distracted. To really get my priorities right, yes. I should probably be doing overtime right now for the crazy things that I need to do, so I'm not doing it Monday morning, but I don't care. Yes, okie dokie. Yeah, Smells like I would really want to go. It's just really difficult, very, very difficult. Childcare is a nightmare. Yes, it's there's lots of factors. It's like, oh, night, Mrs. Noodles. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the void. Twithy, no, I'm nowhere near the top 10 for the LHS goal for building the station. I'm helping with the bounty hunting one. That's where I'm getting some bounties to cash in. I'm not sure what the top 10 is at the moment. So night vision. You think an elite wing of 3 NPC vultures are more dangerous than some of these groups that are winged up and kill you? Yeah, I mean, like we were saying earlier on, I mean, SJ, she's working on a whole bunch of new AI routines which are going to come into 2.1 to make them even more deadly. So the NPCs are going to get even harder. There's a whole bunch of things that she could make the NPCs do that they don't currently do. Certain player tactics that they're aware of. Flight assist off as well is something which she's toyed with. The NPCs could use it. They don't currently use it, but they could, and they would be damn hard to fight if they do. Fortunately, even though the NPCs are getting a buff in their abilities in 2.1, they're also getting their skill levels readjusted to suit. So the NPCs at the lower end of the scale will be suitably easier, and the NPCs at the top end of the scale, so the real elite ships, are going to be really, really hard. Which that's the challenge that some people want. But I mean, Frontier are capturing metrics on the interaction of players and NPCs and things like that. So they are very aware of how WoW players manage to vote against certain NPCs and groups of NPCs and stuff like that. So if it does turn out to be a change which makes them too damn hard, then they will probably scale it back and tweak it. Look at that moon in the distance there. Oh, damn it. This game looks so damn good. I want to go exploring again, but I need to get my combat rank up first before I go exploring. Never mind. Gimbaled railgun smashes. Gimbaled railguns. Gimbal railguns. Yeah, I'd like to see all the things. It would be nice to have all these little tweaks. It would be nice if you could get an engineer to take an existing railgun and add gimbals to it. That would be cool. Maybe a bit of a debuff somewhere else, maybe a longer reload time or something like that. But the fact that you could have gimbals, that would be cool. Right, let's try this. Right. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Yeah, it's draining the capacitor much quicker than the other ones. Pew pew pew. Boost away. Oh, of course I went into a high instead of a hazardous. So, whoa! Excuse me, officer. Oh, I didn't use my kill warrant scanner, did I? Come on. Scan him, quick. Before he goes pew. Pew, pew, pew. Under a tank. Whoa. Yeah, I really hope mines and missiles get more boom for their buck in the next update as well. I'm really hoping the engineers update allows us to make crazy powerful explosives. Pop, pop. I'd go exploring now, Crash, before the Thargoids come and the NPCs get meaner. See, that's what I'm thinking, Shan, is I'm doing my best to get all of this stuff in that I'm doing now, because as soon as there are any more reports of them, I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. Because unfortunately, as Mr. Braben alluded to, the fact that the majority of people just decided, hey, these barnacle things, which he confirmed, yes, they are alive. People just shot the damn things, of course, because that's what humans do. You give them a gun and they poke a pointy stick and they decide to poke and prod at things. That's what humans do. So yes, thank you to all the commanders that blew up these damn things, because now you've doomed us all. Pew pew pew, pew pew pew. Barry Roberts, any relation to Chris? What's that, Twithy? They need to be ranked weapons with local factions, etc. So they could be procedurally generated, must be allied with LHS 344 or 7 Jet Gang to get things. I think there's an element of that too. You have to have a reputation with some of the local factions to get access to an engineer. So in theory, that is kind of that is gated in a way there. Well, let's have a go with an anaconda, see while this fares. So yes, there is kind of an element of that you would have to kind of build up a reputation with a certain group, or have to maintain it. If you had a bad reputation in a group, you wouldn't have access to an engineer, which would give you that upgrade that you're looking for. 2 eagles. Should we take the eagles first? Karma War, you had a new baby and you're moving house next week. Congratulations. Busy, crazy week you've had then. Lots That's awesome. Endshiv, honestly though, we don't have a lot of ways in which we can interact with the barnacles except shooting them. Yeah, that's kind of the point though, isn't it? It's like they set us up in this position where the only thing that people could think of doing was to poke them with the sharp stick. So it's kind of, they almost set us up so that we would inevitably end up going down into that route. But yeah, see, there is always the option to be passive and just let them be. That option was always there. It's exactly what I did. I showed everyone where the barnacles were on my stream, and then I got the heck out of there and left them to it. Under a tank. Pew 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 pew. Bum 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 bum. Let's put his shield cells. How are we doing? I'm just going to let my capacitor recharge for a little bit, Colonel. Two little eagles. Come on. Uh-oh. Did I just do... Yes, I did. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Just fired off a shield cell bank. Probably about time that I did it anyway. I was getting low on the shields, so never mind. And I've got 1 to 2 heat sinks, 1 to 2 shield cells as well, so it should be fairly balanced on that. I think I would have maybe survived a little bit. Well, I mean, three ships at the same time in a combat zone. It's hard to judge. I mean, I was playing the Viper in the Vulture in the combat zone, so it is a different kettle of fish, I suppose. Come on. Yeah, I've got to pretty much use all of my shield cells to maintain. Damn, his shield's back up now. Oh, sorry, I've been missing the chat because this combat has been a little bit more than I anticipated. Was that Endshiv? So an instigator, not an executor? Sorry, I missed the thread of the chat there. Ooh, I'm over here. So Karma War, am I investing in VR? Eventually, yes, but I'm playing my cards close to my chest. I think I've been pretty clear with, my intention is to wait to see which is the best rather than jumping to conclusions before anyone else. I think that makes absolute sense. Arms out, Noodles! See you in the void, Commander. Thanks for tuning in tonight, buddy. Yeah, I think the whole kind of, everyone's going Vive versus Oculus and all that stuff, and everyone's kind of toying around with which one's going to be the best, and so I think it's just too early to tell. I think it's better to just wait for them to come out, let people try both, review them before you make take the dive and spend that sort of money on something. Do you know what? I think I'll just leave him be. Yeah, not too sure on that. I would have thought I would have done better against an Anaconda in the Vulture, but... Incoming missile. Oh, get out. Yes, Abacus is right. Yes, I do have the Rift already. I do have the DK1. But I'm not planning on getting the. What am I doing? Let's just take him out. Come on. What have we got on this one? It's not worth the cost, but sod it. Give it a go. Oh, can I take him? Can I take him? I don't know. No, I didn't think I was going to give it. 96, 95. I think the extra burst laser in the bottom there is just tips it over in the power use, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I would. No, no. Don't. Really? Great. Do you know what? You're not worth a 4 million rebuy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I see. I think I would probably be. I need to tweak it a little bit more. I'm not happy with the loadout. Night vision! Farewell, Commander. What's that number? Tech. What's that? Karma? Where the tech in people's PCs need to improve so the specs will not be almost. Yeah, that is another problem with the VR thing at the moment. Is it needs quite a hefty machine for it to work. So it's a risky move at the moment for a lot of people. Where to go to? Let's head to the Kidney system. Head to Kidney. Is it June for the Pascal chipset? I'm really looking forward to the Pascal GPUs actually. I think they're going to have a huge bump in performance and just features as well. There's going to be some really, really cool things. So I should use 2 pulse, 2 multi-cannons and 1 plasma accelerator. Seeing the burst on yours is making me consider changing. Yeah, I like the burst. I had the pulse lasers on the Vulture, tried them for a long time. Then went over to the burst lasers, and I just like the fact you can just hold off from the fire for a second. Really, really helps as well. Look at that one, 14,000 light years. I want to go into that one. Yeah, the fact that you just holding off a second on the burst lasers is enough to recharge the capacitor quite a bit. So it's in a lot of ways it's quite nice. Where's that? Oh my goodness. Nothing there. Can I land on any one of these? I've got a planetary approach, which I suppose I can give it a try. Sod it. Let's try it. Suck it and see. That's the joy of this game. Just doing random stuff. Because you can. He ran away! No, he didn't! Yes, he did! Yes, Commander TNT. That is absolutely well known in the Elite Dangerous community as the Robin Hood maneuver, which is sorely underused, I think, by a lot of people. You tend to get people that don't use the Robin Hood maneuver and then wonder why they are rebuying their ship at 4.5 million credits. And yes. Wow, Oh, Shannon, rumor has it Pascal is going to become 16 gigs RAM. That is crazy. We are out of screen. Warning, warning. Gaming with Ian. We could. I'm not overlapping with your time, am I? I could do that. I see. I've not had a chance to play all week, and I've got that itch. I desperately want to try all of these things that I've missed out this week. What's that? Oh, thank you, Max. What we got? B2A. Let's go check. Make sure I'm not. B2A, B2D, B2A. Which one is the most interesting? We got that one now. G. That one's a little bit warmer. Thank you, Maxersa. There we go. That's what the symbol I was looking for. An actual Andy Beverid Laboratory. Let's go have a look. There we go. Why not? They should have repair facilities. Let's hope, anyway. Not streaming this week. Okay, game with him. I will take the baton from you. Gladly hold the baton aloft. See, Night Vision. I can rely on Max Harris, a fellow ambassador. See, wouldn't see another ambassador into a corner. Dormant. Oh yes, it's gone to a dormant bounty, hasn't it? Well, hopefully I don't get scanned. It wasn't me, officer. It wasn't me. The NPC just backed into me. It wasn't me. Yeah, I need Federation bounties, don't I, to pay into this LHS 3447. Exactly, Karma War. Yeah, that is absolutely the tactic I'm going for. I'm too short to stand my ground. I'll just run away and hide. Absolutely. Shorty is short, yes. That's what we call Shorty, because she is absolutely the shortest of the shorts. She's tiny, I can literally put my arm on her head like that. You see? And I'm tiny. Been whispering to me, Max? I said no. I think you've been. I think it's been showing up in the chat. So I don't think it's hidden away in a whisper. Ooh, wrong side of the planet. Who put that planet in the way of that station? I haven't flown a Ferdinand Lance down onto a planet either, so we are full of firsts tonight. Here we go. Ooh, this is a pretty looking planet. I like this one. Bit of a slightly warmer Europa, maybe. Thank you, Verity. Cool. Approaching drop altitude. Commander Shorty Short, we're very outspoken. Yes, bless her. I really need to get her onto the streams again. Of course, she's very busy with the little one at the moment, so. You know what, I think I am approaching way too shallow an angle. I need to get closer. Was that oh, was it owned by the System Lords? Should that count? Does that count? Handed baitage to the Wall Ridge Terminal, though, it says. Does that save me having to fly out 100,000 light years every time again? That certainly would be an improvement. Oh, here we go. And now I'm too steep because I wasn't paying attention. Damn. There we go. Glide engaged. There's no worries if not. I mean, looking at it, what's it, those, I got Frigata, was it Fragata bounties anyway, I need to go back and cash those in another place. And docking request granted. This is where I need to borrow an SRV, you know. I don't want to have to fit a hangar into my further lands in order to go and scoot around on the surface. Buy a sidewinder and chuck an SRV in it, I suppose we'll do that. We can do it that way. Doesn't look like it. Nah, sorry. No worries. I will go to the other one. Basically, I just wanted to stop off early and repair, really. That's what I wanted to get to. Oops. Oh, I already lost the screen then. Yeah, I could probably buy one here in night vision. Just I haven't played in an SRV for a while. No, it's only committed in the station it's from. I think it shouldn't show up on the bulletin board here. No, it won't work. I won't do it here. I mean, I just wanted to stop off somewhere and repair the damage. Let's see what we got in terms of outfitting, actually. See that? I think I'm better off just actually swapping that out entirely. I think it's just sapping the power distributor too quickly. Torpedo pylon. Tempting. It's all tempting. I want to play with some of these new things I've had a chance to play with. I think at the moment I'll just sell it, and I'll go to a high-tech system later and I'll find something more usable. Pat Garrett, he got $1 billion. Yes, I may have been playing the game for quite a while. Still nowhere near certain other commanders that I know of as well. Some of my friends have got crazy amounts of credits. Let's try that and go back to the I wonder if I can do, what have we got? Fire groups. See, I like the idea of that. So that I can balance the power usage like I was talking about earlier. But it does make using the heatsink in an emergency a bit of a pain. It's worth a shot. Let's just reload it. I am elite in trade, yes. How did Ed Lewis get 60 billion? He has friends. There's a high res in this system. Is that? Oh, let's go have a look. Whereabouts is that? Resource extraction site. Yes, and it's not far away. Sweet. That makes life a lot easier, actually. That saves me having to go all around me backside. Let's head on over there. Give this loadout a little bit of a try. Karma Wall. Good night, Commander. Enjoy your new baby, yes. Thanks for joining in tonight. See you in the void. Mouse, you've got all of your credits tucked away in ship. I don't know where I am with assets, actually. I mean, I've not got many more. Was it assets there? No. Current assets, yeah, 1.2 billion. I've not got a lot more in assets than I have in credits. This is probably the most expensive ship I've got now. I've got the Vulture, which I left somewhere else. I've got a couple of little ships here and there. Oh, look at that, and it's right above the... Oops, I have to go up first. Wait. You want to get to the point where you can stop spending and start saving. Oh, absolutely the way to do that is get into trading. Do some crazy trading runs like I did. Wow, 60 million in credits and 2 billion in assets. That's insane. Well, that would scare me a bit with my rebuy costs because I know I'd only have a few rebuys before I'd start looking into serious trouble. But I think you'll be happy to know. You might already know this actually, but of course there's talk of allowing you to liquidate assets in other places. So if you've got that Python you've left lying around worth a couple of 100 million, you've left it lying around in a system, you'd be able to liquidate it if you do end up on the insurance screen with not quite enough to cover the Corvette you just lost, which is 61 million credits or something crazy in your rebuy. So I am thinking actually. I have mentioned this a few times before. I'll run it past everyone who's watching now. I know I talked about doing a retro stream and things like that. I have been thinking about perhaps doing a bit of a Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 stream as a bit of a kind of nod towards Planet Coaster, which I'm sure a lot of you already know is coming up very soon. So I am tempted to do that. I'm not sure if anyone watching at the moment would be interested in that. I think kind of remind myself of the controls around Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 because I have not really touched it in quite a few years, so I'll go back to it and give it another try. And there is a fun event coming up actually on the 15th of March, I think it is. There is a special event going on for Planet Coaster, so stay tuned for news on that. It's going to be really, really awesome. Can't wait to see some more things. I'm not surprised actually. I don't know how many people in the chat actually managed to catch the live stream this week for Planet Coaster. Fun speculation. I can't say much about the event at the moment, but it's going to be really cool. Yes. So put a hands up if you saw Ed's Planet Coaster live stream this week, which was awesome to finally see some details on it. There was some really, really cool stuff that they finally shared with it. Nice to see it actually running in the background as well. Not a lot of that was actual video. It was the game running, which was pretty cool. Oh yeah, Twithy, is it like Z? Is it Z and X or Q and E? The buttons to rotate the objects. That was the bit that threw me as well when I started getting back into the building, rotating the objects. Oh yeah, game with you. Yeah, Planet Coaster looks absolutely stunning. I jumped on the pre-order list for that straight away. It does look really, really good what they're going for. Just the sheer quality of the models and things that they're doing to it. It's going to be really, really awesome. Shamrock, you can try and make them vomit the most. Well, you might not have a good park rating, but at least you'll enjoy it. Put it that way. Right, let's look for some pew-pews. Vomit comets. Where is Yes, Stephen, actually, yeah, the lighting and the detail they're putting into the objects is absolutely amazing. Plus the fact that every one of those objects, what they're trying to do, because I know there was I wouldn't say a bit of a hoo-ha, but there was kind of a lot of people were kind of remarking on what their stance was on user-generated content, because literally, I think the day before or something like that, they decided the day before the live stream, Atari obviously put up their first video in literally months showing that in Roller Coaster Tycoon World they're going to allow user-generated content, and what basically by that is they've taken their internal import script for Unity, which they're building on the Unity engine anyway, and they've kind of made it, publicly released it and said, here you go, here's our import script, throw your own 3D objects into the game. I think there are going to be some serious limitations to how that works. I mean, it's probably going to be static 3D objects only and things like that. But I mean, aside from that, the oh, is he going to run? He's probably going to run. The people were asking like, what's Planet Coaster going to do for user-generated content? And a lot of people were kind of obviously making the comparison to Roller Coaster Tycoon and say, well, they've done it, you need to do it. I think the team are taking the absolute right approach. I think their approach to the, okay, Game of the Ing, night, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, mate. Yeah, the way that the team's kind of approaching the problem of user-generated content is, rather than at the moment they haven't actually said that you will be able to import objects, but what they're focusing on doing at the moment is giving us the tools in game to be able to make really, really awesome things without having to go to the extent of importing your own custom objects. I think that's absolutely the right way of doing it. They're giving you really, really powerful in-game tools and materials so that you can make, not just, you know, plump down a building, got you, there's a burger bar. You could actually have the individual till and counter segments and drop that in and drop it in a wall and surround it in scenery, you know, and individually build up these environments and things like that. So it's giving you the utilities to make cool looking custom objects rather than having to be a 3D modeler and have to work through some hacky script way of doing it. And I think that's the right approach to it. I would definitely like to see full-on user-generated content at some point, because there's always that one thing you want to do where you want to like put like a custom sign in, you know, like you've made a really cool logo for your coaster, you know, and you want to put it in as a, you know, big flashy sign over the queue or something like that. So there's always a space that for full user-generated content. What's that? Should I read PvP Planet Coaster? Theme park on the moon is so in future. Yeah, exactly. That's why do you think the moon is inaccessible at the moment? See, all that stuff I said earlier is complete rubbish. It's nothing to do with that. It's because they're waiting for Planet Coaster so they can build a theme park on the moon. Let's see. Definitely not enough speculation tonight. Pew 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 pew. Pop goes the sidey. Ooh. Was that your friend? Oh yes, you were in a wing. It's just a sidey. Oh, come here. I'm gonna catch a little fishy. To the forums. Chief Beef Belief. Absolutely. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. I love the sound of 4 burst lasers all going at once. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Love it. Pop. There we go. Tequila Sunrise. Will other players be able to visit your park? I don't think they've confirmed exactly how the multiplayer elements are going to work at the moment, but there is I think they have clarified that you'll at least be able to share creations with your friends. That's the biggest thing they want to do. So again, with the tools, you know, being able to share aspects of your park. If you make a really cool looking building or something that, you know, you want to share with your friends, that's the thing they've announced they definitely are doing. I mean, it is entirely speculation, but one of the fun things that they did in Zoo Tycoon, which is one of their other titles on the Xbox One, was the fact that I think you could. Oh, where's that scan coming from? Is it you? Yeah, I think it's you. You could actually go into another person's park in like a third-person mode and kind of wander around whilst they were doing stuff. So that was pretty cool as well. So hopefully, you know, they've tested the technology. It can work. So. Absolutely speculation. Oh. Concentrate on the pew-pews first. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's way off yet at the moment. So I mean, they've still got, they're aiming for, I think it's third quarter this year release for the game. The alpha is coming up, maybe in a couple of weeks, I think it is. The alpha is going to hit. So there's a lot of time and scope for them to still add more and more features in. Cleaned up all the pew-pew. So that's Sidey in a mining area. Yep. Sideys don't often operate alone. Let's have a look at you. Oh, what's that mean by your spare parts arrive tomorrow? You can fill up your cutter with blood crystals and nuke the community core. Globe MC, I am trying out the Fer-de-Lance. I have not had much chance to play with the Fer-de-Lance in the past, so I'm giving it a bit of a go. Tend to use the Vulture for combat mostly, so this is a nice change for me to get used to a different kind of shit. Playing around with the loadout as well. I'm not 100% sold on the loadout at the moment. I think it needs a little bit more work tweaking it. I like the power of the weaponry you can get on the FDL, but I still feel like it's I can't quite do as much damage as quickly as I can in the Vulture. Oh, you bugger, come here, come here, come here, come here. Pew, pew, pew. Gotcha. Pew, 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 pew. That's you down. Do, 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 do. Another one bites dust. What's that to do? Rightio Maush, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Oh, not next week. Of course, no. I'm not streaming next week. I forgot. Yes. It's my birthday next week. I'm gonna get you, little Sidey. I'm gonna get you, little Sidey. Still in a wing of two. There's another ship there. Did I disable that asp and not destroy him? What did I miss? Seriously? Yes, I disabled his power plant and left him for dead. There we go. Christian Chung. Night night. Boom! Headshot! Bits of Commander everywhere. So what have we got on there at the moment? 34 bounty in Federation, 120 in LHS. Again in there. Definitely need to do some more on that, I think, absolutely. There's a SpaceX launch in 28 minutes, is there? Oh, Link. I'm a big astronomy nut as well, I'm sorry. Imperial Leaguer, yes. It's Quagmire. Giggity giggity. Alright. Thank you, Twithy. I will endeavour to finish up before that, actually. In fact, it is an hour past the time I would normally stream, and I think we've pretty much covered all of the things we were going to cover tonight. You don't believe it? You're in an Eagle. I'm in an FDL. What's not to believe? I'm just so addicted to pewing things at the moment. But I think it is probably worth wrapping things up tonight. So for those of you who are still watching, I think thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in tonight. It's awesome to chat along to you. Like I said, no stream next week. Sorry, I'm having a night off for the first time in a year. But yeah, we will be back the week after, I believe, and probably be streaming Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 at that point, because of course there is the Planet Coaster event on the 15th. So can't wait for that. It's really, really cool. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully I can get you some secret sneaky peeky stuff from Planet. What do you mean hopefully? Yes, of course I'm going to get some sneaky peeky stuff from Planet Coaster to share with everyone. So stay tuned for that. Well, thank you very much everyone, and until next week, see you in the Void, Commanders.